call this bang bang.
Seriously?
I will fuck you up. I will beat your ass. I will fuck you up. Pull up, bitch. I will fuck you up. I will beat your ass. I will fuck you up.
Objection. Objection.
I will fuck you up. KO. Bang bang. I will fuck you up. You're a bitch, bro. I will fuck you up. I will beat your ass. I will fuck you up. Right?
Yeah.
The bang bang, the bang bang, pull up. The bang bang, the bang bang, pull up. Right?
Yeah.
The bang bang, the bang bang, pull up. The bang bang, the bang bang.
Witness, please.
Yes, Your Honor, the Commonwealth calls Trooper Michael Proctor to the stand. State your name and spell your last name for the jury.
Michael Proctor, Proctor.
You're a bitch, bro. I will fuck you up. I will beat your ass. I will fuck you up.
I'm going to allow it.
I will fuck you up. I will beat your ass. I will fuck you up.
I'm going to allow it.
Welcome to the Weekend Live Show.
508 is where I'm from.
We run down the biggest stories of the week with you every Saturday night. Let us know in the comments right now where you reppin'.
Apache Junction, Taunton, Worcester, Long Island, Mantrod, South Florida, Webster, Malden, Framingham, Tucson, Wichita, Billerica, Salem, Gloucester, Moosop, Connecticut, Charleston, South Carolina, Roslindale, Moosop, Connecticut, London, Hanson, Glendale, Arizona, Lynn, Mapleville, Quincy.
Food stands, leave your clothes, buddy, and then we're screwing up the
funny ass guy, man.
Have you ever heard of Turtle Boy? Yeah? Are you a fan?
508 is where I'm from.
Hey, what's up?
508 is where I'm from.
How was that?
You a freaking idiot. Stop telling people that I'm mentally deranged and stupid.
Call me Aidan. He's not a doctor, but...
Get out of my store, please.
You're a fucking loser.
You are a loser.
You're not a journalist. You're nobody.
You're not turtle hair. Don't make such fun of the criminal justice system.
NFL on the house, blog that.
Let's get this party started.
And I will not be intimidated. I will not be silenced. And we will continue on our journey for justice for John O'Keefe and for Karen Reed.
Tick, tick, boom. Boys, go baby, we bringing out toys. Boys, chop up the singing, should be on the voice. Bang, bang, we gon' ride out. Gang, gang, we don't die out. Want it like this, ain't no timeouts. Tell me who really gon' find out.
We be disturbing the peace. Working, we serving the streets.
Karen Reed has supporters who've shown up in large numbers.
Tick, tick, boom.
Hard body, and not scaring nobody. You make me resort to wildin'. You must be blind by the diamonds. I didn't want it to be this way, but y'all won't need to try this, so it's no way around it. You the loudest one, it's going quiet. We be disturbing the peace. Working, we serving the streets. About to go ahead, going beast. Bang, bang, leave you sleep.
This is the first time I think I've ever seen this. An outpouring of support for someone accused of murdering a Boston police officer. Unbelievable situation. Never seen anything like it.
Tick, tick, boom. You can't stop me, so who gon' stop me? You You can't stop me, so who gon' stop me? You can't stop me, so who gon' stop me? You can't stop me, so who gon' stop me?
We be disturbing the peace. Working, we serving the streets. About to go ahead, going beast. Bang, bang, leave you sleep. It's go, 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 go time.
Tick, tick, boom.
Boom. What's up, turtle people? How's everyone doing tonight? Good, good, excellent. Welcome to the live show, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Aidan Kearney. You can call me a variety of names. Clarence Woods Emerson will suffice. That's my Facebook name. You can follow me on there. I do a bus stop live every morning when there's school and I'm getting my kids on the bus to make sure I'm not arrested by the popo. You can call me Uncle Turtle Boy. Old school turtle riders are known to do that. I prefer doctor, because, if Jim Crosby gets to be a doctor in this trial, then I'm definitely a doctor. You can call me Daddy is acceptable. I understand that could be a little bit weird for some people, but a little bit fun for some people too. So I will allow it, but definitely not mandated. You can call me A. Timothy Kearney when I'm out in the woods in my leather jacket, solving murder mysteries, deep in thought, and moving up the ranks in the true crime world. You can call me Journalism Jesus. I don't care what you call me. Just be here every Tuesday and Saturday night, even though it's like, I think our third or fourth Sunday in a row doing this, and smash that subscribe button. All right. I think we're getting close to 108,000. By the end of the trial, we should have a lot more, as long as I'm allowed to freaking stream. I don't go to jail for that. And they like to throw me in jail for anything these days. I'm trying to do my goddamn job. It's going to be interesting, though. This is kind of our last weekend show before the trial. From this point on, man, the content's about to go wild. It's about to go wild. Like, as soon as this shit starts again, we're going to be in full, like, sitting by our fucking TVs, aren't we? Like, it's going to be like last time on steroids. It's going to be weird this time because, like, last time when we watched it, it was all new. This time, it's like, we kind of know a lot of them are going to say, aren't we? Like, do we... Anthony Flamatti's going to get up there again and say the same bullshit. And Timothy Nettle's going to get up there and say the same bullshit. And, Paul O'Keefe is going to... Aaron O'Keefe, will she be called? That's what I'm waiting for the first week is what's up with Aaron? Maybe I should have waited like a month before I dropped that story. But I just couldn't resist it. I couldn't resist it. Paul O'Grift, Mr. Glazed Donuts. I don't know. It does feel different this time around, Laura. It does feel different this time around. Going into it last time, I was like, yeah, let's fucking go. This is going to be a cakewalk. And I watched the whole trial and I'm like, well, that was easy. That was as expected. That was great theater. And now they're just going to quit real quick and we'll be done here. And that's it. That's the end of that. And then these fucking morons, and that's what they are, like Ryan Piotrowski, the foreman who lied in his affidavit and said he could herd people outside during deliberations. That was a lie. He never said that. That asshole, he got up there and, he never mentioned the fact that, oh yeah, I'm a former cop who got hit by a drunk driver. Oops, I forgot to mention that. Yeah. And so these idiots got on the jury and were like, yeah, we're smarter than ARCA. So, that's that. Luckily, there were some real ones on the jury that were just like, absolutely not. Never, ever, ever, ever could I vote to convict this woman. You motherfuckers need to open your eyes. And I don't give a shit, man. The more I think about it, it's been almost 2 years since I wrote part one of this story. And the McAlberts are still as guilty, if not more guilty than they were when I first wrote this story. I can say that with full confidence. I 1000% believe that these people did this. The evidence shows it. They couldn't possibly be showing more guilt. right? I mean, Brian Albert, not only did he sell his house and rip up his basement floor, he got rid of the family dog. Who does that? He got rid of his phone. He said a 222 phone call was from when he was fucking his beat up ragtag wife of his, who sounds like a carton of Newport Lights come to life. Nicole Albert, Mrs. Clean. That guy's fucking his wife after a full days of drinking. Give me a break. Give me a break. And he butt answers. He doesn't butt dial. He butt answers. Honest people don't say shit like that. Like, let's keep it a buck. They murdered John O'Keefe. It's fucking it's okay to say that. We've been saying it for 2 years, and I'll say it forever. Brian Albert, Colin Albert, and Brian Higgins murdered John O'Keefe. They were all fucking involved in it. All of them. Every single person in the house that knows what happened is just as guilty as the people that actually did the beating. They all fucking did it, okay? We all know that they did it. And they're going to get away with it, okay, too. They're never going to go to jail for this, right? I think we need to give up hope on that. It's not going to happen because of Michael Proctor. That's why Michael Proctor is such a piece of shit. I mean, the guy literally made sure that a bunch of murderers got away with murder. He did it. He allowed that. None of this happens without Michael Proctor. Those motherfuckers murdered John O'Keefe inside that house. Karen Reed was a very convenient scapegoat who, quite frankly, they ran into a little bit of luck because she backed into John's car with with her Lexus, and she cracked her taillight. Oops. That was a bit of luck, wasn't it? They were just throwing that. They were going to throw him on a lawn the whole time. But then they were like, maybe a plow did it. There's a million and one things. I don't know how he got there. What the fuck happened? Holy shit. He never came in the house. Just tell him the guy never came in the house. That's the most important thing that any of these people ever said ever. When Matt McCabe said that in a text message, that is not something innocent people say. Innocent people don't have to tell other people to instruct Chris Albert to tell the media, tell him the guy never came in the house. Innocent people don't say shit like that. Innocent people know the guy never came in the house. They don't need to remind you. Just reminder. The guy never came in the house. Just remember. Well, yeah, no shit. No shit, he didn't come in the house, right? If he didn't come in the house, why the fuck you telling me that? Right? That's what happened. They did it. They fucking did it. And all the people who are out there crying about Colin, you're being mean. No, fuck them. Fuck them too for enabling them. These pieces of shit murdered John O'Keefe. And I'm pissed about it. I'm pissed about it. And you should be pissed about it too. I'm fucking pissed. All right. And we're going to trial again starting this week. And all these lying motherfuckers can get up there and take the stand again with their usual bullshit, but we're going to see right through it. I'm just so sick of this shit. I'm so sick of the crying and the whining about this. All right. Like I was looking for, okay, like look at this. So I found this old, I went looking for some footage today for frame 2. And I just searched Colin Albert fight or something like that in my search bar or whatever. And this is March 31st. So this is recent. Big Red says here, she goes, so much was stolen from this kiddo. This kiddo. He's a kiddo, guys. Yeah, we're going to get to Colin Albert. This kiddo. Oh, so much was stolen from this kiddo. Yeah. By an entitled drunk. Like he's a piece of shit. That video of him, the Advantage Boys video, I'm going to fuck you guys up. Bang, bang. Like that's not normal. That's not normal. Normal kids don't act like that. These people are like normalizing aggressive, violent behavior and passing it off as boys will be boys. No, this is not how boys act. I'm sorry. This is not how boys act. Boys don't act like that. They don't. Not good boys. Bad boys, maybe. By an entitled drunk who didn't want to take responsibility for killing John O'Keefe, her disgusting family. Bitch, have you seen your fucking your family hates you, Julie. Just know that. Your husband every day he wakes up, and we've been over this, Big Red. Every day your husband wakes up and just goes into the bathroom and he fucking masturbates as quickly as possible, thinking about anyone but you. Anyone but you. Whatever commercial he saw, whatever old rerun of Baywatch was on, something stimulated him. Something. Maybe a woman he works with who he fantasizes about. Something. Anyone but you, Big Red. Just know that. You would never, like, that's your fucking life. Talk about family. Okay? She goes, by her unethical legal team, unscrupulous content creators, and wacko citizens. The worst ones are the moms with sons who are this age who so recklessly accused him. Wishing Colin Albert the best and all the good things in life. You deserve them, buddy. No, he deserves life in jail. That's what he deserves. Life in jail, because Colin Albert was involved in the murder of John O'Keefe. And I'm still waiting to get sued for that. It's been what? Oh, you guys have to wait though, right? You have to wait. Oh, wait. What are you waiting for? John O'Keefe's family didn't wait. They sued Karen Reed. What? How come you guys are waiting? What are you waiting for? When am I getting my papers? I sued the fucking fake victim. Why can't you sue me? We still got criminal shit going on. This is failed parenting, folks. This right here. This is all you need to see about what failed parenting looks like. Like, I just could never imagine posing for a picture like this with my parents. Ever. This is fucking trashy behavior. And if you think this is normal, you're trashy too. Okay? These are human filth, all of them. Human filth. The lowest rung of society. Just absolute pieces of shit. And the highest they'll ever climb to in life is running a small town south of Boston and owning a fucking pizza shop. That's it. That's all they got going for them. These pussies, we're going to get to what pussies Colin Albert and Chris Albert are shortly, because Mass Accountability had an interesting video that came out. And just when you thought these are, you want to see what pussy looks like, guys? If you've never seen pussy before, if there's any virgins out there and you've never seen pussy like right in front of you, like face to face, this is what it looks like. That's it. This is what it's. The three of them are even shaped kind of like a pussy, well, a loose pussy, but a pussy nonetheless. So this is them. This is what failed parenting looks like, folks. If you've ever posed for a picture like, yeah, you guys want to take a family picture? Yeah, how should we pose? Middle fingers. Got to take the middle fingers. Trash. Anyway, well, how do I get started on that? So yeah, the trial's starting, and I'm excited to do this all over again. It's going to be weird. Like I said, we're going through the motions. We know what a lot of them are going to say, right? I know what I'm going to be tweeting about. You know, I know what the whatever, like we know. So, but there's also some new stuff. The expert stuff is the stuff that's going to be interesting that wasn't around the first time. This Holly Price lady, I'd like to see what she's all about. This new medical examiner. And then, of course, they're experts. We still haven't heard about Garrett Wing, if he's allowed. There's no expert I want to see more than Garrett Wing. Them leaving Michael Easter out was just such a kick in the balls. Such pieces of shit. Auntie Bevis to do something like that. But, and then we got Spanky to deal with in the second trial. He's going to be objecting to everything because he's a loser. And it's, I don't know. We'll see. But just remember, they will never, ever, ever convict Karen Reed of anything. They will never convince 12 people unanimously that, you know, this woman ran John O'Keefe over with the car. Never. Not going to happen. Even with these experts, Bob Alessi and Alan Jackson are going to tear through them. And I cannot wait to see this goddamn, the Kerry Roberts stuff too, expected to come out in trial too. I would expect it. If it doesn't, then we'll talk. But, a lot of this stuff is under protective order. But I found a lot of it pretty damning, and we'll see what happens. Okay. So again, people are like, what about those messages? So there's, we've received a lot of messages that are under protective order for some reason. And we got to get those protective orders lifted because we're sitting on some gold nuggets here of information that doesn't need to be protected at all. That just shows how fucked up these people are and what they did and how they conspired to frame this woman for murder, and then frame me and set me up. And just basically, you've read our motion to dismiss. I don't want to say it. No, he who shall not be named had some interesting texts in there, but anyway, yeah, that's that. So I can't wait, man. Trial as of right now, I am told the trial is starting Wednesday. That's what I'm told, because they want to they're doing another day of juror deliberation tomorrow. And I didn't get in the lottery. I forgot to enter it. I'm so forgetful. I'm like, fuck, I meant to do it. Every Tuesday between 8:30 and 4:30, we have to send our emails in saying, I want to be in the media pool this week. And then they do a randomizer and they pick who the 10 are. And I was like, at like 2:30 on Tuesday, I was like, oh yeah. Remember, I went to the gym and I was coming home and I was like, oh yeah, I got to do that. And then I went upstairs and then I think I went on Twitter and I guess get distracted with bullshit. And then I didn't send the goddamn email. So I didn't get in the pool. And so I wasn't able to be chosen. Grant Smith Ellis got chosen. But Jessica Machado plans on being there, which means Grant cannot be there. So that's going to be interesting. Right. And, now the court officer, Tim Rose, apparently told Jessica Machado that he has a right to be here. No, Timmy. No. That's not how it works, my dude. He does not have a right to be. He had a right to be there. And then he got an order placed on him. You see, orders take away your rights. That's why judges shouldn't hand them out easily, right? Because they take away your rights. For like your Second Amendment rights, you have to give up your guns if you have an order on you. And your First Amendment rights, you can't speak to certain people, right? So by definition, they limit your rights. And so Grant, don't want to have your rights limited, don't get an HPO put on you. I don't know what to tell you. Don't attack a woman in the media line and put hands on her. That's what he did. And he rightfully got an order put on him. A judge found that this woman was in reasonable fear because of him and needed protection of a court. And it's not up to Tim Rose or anyone in the Norfolk Superior Courthouse to tell Jessica Machado that you can't go because he's here. He has a right to be here. No, he had a right to be here. He no longer does. So the second she steps foot in that courthouse, and she can go in that courthouse whenever she likes, it doesn't matter if he was there first. He must leave. He must leave. You don't like it, don't get an order put on you. Go to the courthouse and have it amended like I did with the fake victim. Do it. But she has a right to be there. And guess what? She would be doing the biggest favor ever to all the other reporters. They would all love her. They'd be like, because everybody hates Grant in the press pool, maybe except for Gretchen Voss, who somehow also got on the randomizer, and so did John DePetro. So all the trolls got in. And the AP got in. They never come to shit. News Nation, I've never seen them at anything before. They got in. Like, are you kidding me? So anyway, I forgot to do it. So I can't even say that I'm like, it was fucked over. I just forgot, to be perfectly honest. And free the closet baby, of course. Free the closet baby, of course. So I will not be there for the first week. I'm going to go on the first day, and I think I'm going to stream from the Registry of Deeds across the street I'll live stream the first day of proceedings just because I want to take in the atmosphere and all that fun stuff. So no more seat saving. Those days are over. This trial around. So, looking forward to it. I'm just so sick of this shit. I can't wait to do this all over again. I can't wait to see how much these people lie. I hope they grill. There's so much more stuff that I hope they grill them on in the second trial. They got to call Colin Albert up. They got to call that dude up. Where was he on January 20th? I want to hear all about it. I hope they grill Colin Albert about why he put Katie McLaughlin in touch with Michael Proctor on January 30th. That's one of the most underrated aspects of this whole thing. The woman, the only person, the nexus of I hit him. Nobody before Katie McLaughlin was making that allegation. Nobody. They interviewed all these people. Nobody said that she said that. And then Katie McLaughlin said that she said it. And as it turns out, Colin Albert sent a text message to Michael Proctor saying, I'd like you to meet with Katie McLaughlin. You can use the Canton Police Department to do that. Why? Why her? You're right, though. That's the thing. He's definitely got a fake story ready to go. I can't wait to hear it. Make him say it, though. Make him say the fake story. How do you say that? Like, what? How? I'm very curious of this. And what's he going to say? That Katie McLaughlin contacted him? Of all people, that just proves that she's got a line to the Alberts. She's biased. That's all that would prove. So anyway, do you think, but yeah, there's some messages in there that I think will come out, hopefully a trial. Another guy, Kelleher, they got to get Kelleher on the stand. Dude, he's got a Ring camera pointed across the street that would have caught the whole thing on tape. And nobody asked him for it. Get that motherfucker on the stand now. Come on, let's go. Of course they're going to lie, but we'll be there. We'll be watching it all. It'll be glorious. Let's go. Let's do it. Oh, by the way, did you guys watch the Masters today? I'm sorry. I've never been so entertained by golf ever. That was phenomenal TV today. If you guys missed, it was like from the beginning, they went into it. It's like, it's either going to be Bryson or DeChambeau or Rory. One of them is going to win it. Rory McIlroy. Neither of them has won a Masters. Rory's been around longer. He's won all the other championships, the majors, hasn't won the big one. I think Bryson's won some majors too. Big dogs, the big guns going at it. And first hole, double bogeys it. First hole. So Rory was up by 2, double bogeys it. By the second hole, DeChambeau's winning. And then immediately that gets flipped. He get birdies 2 in a row. I'm like, whoa. And then he's got he had a 5-stroke lead at one point. And then he just kept getting bogeys. And I think he double bogeyed again. He had 4 double bogeys. First Masters winner to ever have 4 double bogeys. And man, and then next thing you know, it wasn't DeChambeau was fucking horrible too today. Horrible. But then Justin Rose, who was killing it the first 2 days, was killing it. First place after the first 2 days. And then shot a 75 yesterday. Comes out of nowhere and shoots a 66 today. He's back in the mix. And then final hole. Okay, so it's tied up, go after 16 holes. And McIlroy's got 2 more holes in front of him. That's it. The guys he's tied with are ahead of him still. And so they're done. And then he has a fucking sweet 17th hole. Amazing shot. Birdies it. He's going to win. It's done. It's over, right? He just birdied the 17th. He's going to win. He's up by a stroke. Then he's got a beautiful drive on the 18th hole. Oh, nice. He's got this. And then he fucking choked. I think it was the second shot he choked on. Or was it second or third? Whatever. But no, it was a bad second shot. And then a real nice third shot. And it's like, oh, shit. That third shot was like, oh shit, he's going to win the Masters. All he has to do is par this little fucking putt. And he missed. He fucking missed it. Like, holy shit, this motherfucker missed it. Yeah, he ended up in the bunker. No, but he missed it. And then we went to the playoff, and then Rose hits and they're going in the same hole, and Rose hits this beautiful shot on his second shot that gets within 15 feet of the hole, like amazing shot. And he's got a chance to birdie it. And like, oh, fucking McElroy's fucked. And McElroy goes, and his ball gets in between. It gets like 4 feet away. Like, fuck. And then Rose has a shot. He's like, well, you have to assume McElroy's going to hit his, so you got to hit this 15-footer. And then this close, misses it. Gets par. And then McElroy still got to hit the 4-footer. He just choked on the 18th hole not too long ago. Hits it, starts crying. It was amazing theater. Amazing theater. Anyway, I got my son into golf today. So anyway, that's that. All right. So if you guys want to have your messages read out loud to the class, you can click at the link at the top for Turtle Chat. And by the way, last night, I did the entire voiceover for Framed 2. So Framed 2 is going to be coming out soon. It's all done. The voice is all done. We got to add in the visuals. It's going to be dope. We hope to have it up in a couple days. It's going to be dope. So what else was I saying? I get a little off track. Oh yeah. If you want to have your messages read out loud to the class, you can click at the link at the top for Turtle Chat. You can pay whatever you want. I will get the message that you write with your Turtle Chat, and I'll read it out loud to the class. Let me see what I got here. Today is April 13th. Okay. Steve sends $10, guys. It's a long one. You got to keep it short. Hey, Turtle Boy, I got to ask you again. Last Sunday, I asked you what it was about the McAlberts in that community that everyone seems to protect them, right down to that see-through judge. Last week, you said it seems Proctor brought up their name, and that's about it. But you were on how? Okay, I can't read this all. Again, if you guys are going to write a Turtle Chat, you can't write a whole fucking paragraph. So the question this person asked is, last Sunday, I asked you what it was about the McAlberts in that community that everyone seems to protect them. It's simple. Chris is on the board of selectmen. That's it. Chris is in charge of the police. That's your answer right there. And they have influence and power, and they're popular, and they've been around there forever. So hopefully that answers that question. Thank you. Brother Turtle, a.k.a. JJ, sends $10, goes, Daddy, I live in Texas, but I want to support Toscana and Karen for standing up to the bullies. How can I buy a gift card and send to Karen? They ask for an email address. Is there an email where I can send her the gift card? So what I would recommend, there's been a lot of people wanting to do this, and we'll talk about that story tonight too. I would recommend sending message like the Roccos or other people. I don't know. If you're going to get gift cards to Toscanos, you can't, I mean, don't bother Karen's team with them right now. I would say the best way is we get them like a pile of them and then raffle them off. That's what I would say. And that way you raise money for, not raffle off, give away them off. And then, it's just a lot of people are doing that, which I appreciate, but I would buy them for a friend, somebody, I don't know. Just donate to the defense. I don't know, but they'll be all set. So thank you for that one, Brother Turtle, aka JJ. Next up, Candace sends $25 and goes, it's a long one. I've never heard the defense or anyone argue the idea of a Sally Port footage being motion detective, which drives me up a wall because there are people in every frame at all times, hence constant motion. For instance, the version of the SUV. Yeah, okay, yep, I got it, yep. So what's the question? Right. Yeah, I haven't heard. I don't know what the question is. I got this whole thing here. Take a paragraph, but I don't understand the question. But yeah, I hope they bring that up. So thank you very much, Candace Mack, because it's clearly not motion detected. Obviously, thank you. Next up, Kim John Canoni sends $25 and goes, "I wish I couldn't believe it, but nothing is surprising anymore. Keith Albert's son has replaced Katie McLaughlin." Oh, she's on Canton Fire? I know that Keith Albert's son, Kevin, who is good friends with Colin, is on the fire department now, of course. I did not know that he replaced Katie McLaughlin after she was too distressed to return to work. What the actual fuck? Thank you, doctor, for fighting the fight. Didn't know that. Thank you. Sandra sends $25 and goes, "Do you think the tow truck driver will get on the stand? Do you think he'll be a good witness for the defense? Glad you're feeling better. You sounded horrible last week." Well, thank you. I'm still coming. I still got a little bit of a cold in case you can't tell. But, you know, what else are going to say? Yeah, I think the tow truck driver would obviously be a very good witness, but I don't know the answer to that question. I have a lot of questions that I like to ask Karen Reed. She used to be able to answer shit for me, but honestly, I just don't bug her as much as I used to because she's busy, I'm sure. And I just don't want to I don't want to be like Natalie and like stress somebody out by messaging all the time. So I only message when it's like I have 1,000,001 questions I can message her with. And that one, the tow truck driver. Yeah. I mean, they could probably tell you what the condition of the taillight. You would think they'd be able to tell you the condition of her taillight. But I think there's a reason neither side has called her yet. So thank you. Julie sends $5 and goes, "Any bets on if they will still refer to Chloe as it in the second trial?" I don't know. Thank you, Julie. Alicia sends $20 and goes, "Again, it's a long one. Again, we need like a sentence thing here. We can't have your whole we got to keep it short. I can't read the whole fucking thing." Okay. $20 from Alicia says, "In A Body in the Snow, Jen McCabe is clearly angry. Her head spun like an exorcist. All her butt dials too. The same night, same time area as all these other trained adult butt dials." Also, Jen says, "I did not delete the search at 2:23 a.m. It was 2:27. John was my friend. I loved him. She loved him so much. When she called 911, she said there's a guy lying in the snow. Did she forget his name?" Okay. Thank you very much. Tommy sends $10 and goes, "When will you know when you can be in the courtroom? Also, you've been amazing covering this case. # free Turtle Boy, # free Karen Reed." I will know. I mean, I have not been told I can't be in the courtroom. I mean, as not just in, I didn't make the cut to be in the courtroom because I forgot to reply, but, I have not been told that were I to make the lottery, I couldn't come in. I have not been told. No, like I'm on the Commonwealth's witness list, but they haven't contacted me. All the other witnesses get prep. I haven't met my victim witness advocate yet. Until I meet my victim witness advocate, I have nothing to say. Like I'm going to watch the trial. I have not been told I can't. Nothing like I've had no contact whatsoever from the DA's office and no instructions. So I will be proceeding as I normally proceed because I have not been told not to. So there's that. Thank you. JT Torrey. And I like turtle chats like that, by the way, that are, and you can, I mean, it's your money. You can send whatever you want, but I'll tell you right now, if you send a turtle chat like that, where you ask me a question and I have an answer for, like, it's like an interesting question too, that whatever, like that, I will riff. That's a good turtle chat. If you send me a turtle chat and it's like, here's a whole paragraph about, oh my God, Jennifer McCabe said this on the 911 call, like shit that I've been over 1,000,000 times. I'm going to read it. And then I'm going to move on to the next one because I have nothing to say about that. So you know, it's your money. You can put whatever turtle chat you want in there. But like, if you want to stimulate conversation, you want to like ask a question, you know what I mean? So just a little tip there. Next up. Let's see. Marco sends $25, goes, props to you and Toscano coming through yesterday. The Perina boys are stand-up guys. I hope it went well. Free Karen Reed and fuck the McAlbert trolls. Yes, I'm going to be getting to that very shortly. Thank you, Marco. The turtle sends $10. It's a long one. My turtle, I'm thinking maybe Scanlon is going to crack. Okay, we're off to a bad start. So pro tip on turtle chats. It's like, it's not your fucking diary. Again, I appreciate the money. It's your money. You can spend whatever you want. Right. But recommendation, like when I start off by saying, I think maybe Scanlon is going to crack. It's like, I just have no. So now we're dealing with theories here. Okay. But I'll read some more of this. Okay. I think maybe Scanlon's going to crack. I hope someone blows this whole fucking case wide open. I mean, you paid to have me write this. You hope somebody blows the case right open. Don't we all? Thank you for the $10. But yeah, wow, that's really interesting. Did you notice that the Commonwealth and the media don't even refer to John as a police officer? Wow, no one's ever pointed that out before. Thank you. I can't understand that. I mean, Jen Boneface McCabe said on the 911 call, there's a man down in the snow. Oh my God. Okay, I can't. Thank you. I appreciate the turtle chat. Thank you for the $10. But again, if you send me a message like that, I'm just going to read it and have no comment on it. That's it. Thank you. L sends $50 and goes, ARCA aside, which returning witness and which new witness do you think will be the most damning to the Commonwealth? Time to fuck. Now that's a good turtle chat. I like that one, L. ARCA aside, which returning witness and new witness do you think will be the most damning to the Commonwealth? I think this new medical examiner is going to be and Garrett Wing, if he's allowed to talk, are going to be the most damning for the defense to fuck the Commonwealth up on. I think Nicholas Barros could be a very, very good witness for the defense. And yeah, so to answer your questions, that's who I think. Returning, yeah, I mean, Barros would be the biggest returning one, and the new medical examiner that they have, and Garrett Wing as for new ones. So there's that. Thank you. Nicole sends $10, goes, innocent people don't want to text about it like Nicole did to Jen. Shady as fuck. I know. Tell me about it. Thank you. Laura sends $10 and goes, why didn't the defense make it an issue that the witnesses were lying? And by the way, they have my text messages between me and Karen Reed. Imagine if I had anything on my phone comparable to their messages. Like, just imagine that. What they would do with that. But that shows you how little they got on us, you know? You know, the Lapalato brothers testifying, it's like, I kind of hope they stay away from that, to be honest with you. That's just like such a rabbit hole, the Lapalato brothers. Like, what is the crux? I mean, the crux of that story is that Michael Lank protects the Alberts. I mean, I guess. So I guess it's a little bit relevant. But, you know, I think the jurors might have been confused by that. Laura, like I said, sends $10, goes, why didn't defense make it an issue that the witnesses were lying about Canton police having motion activated cameras? No police department in the world has motion activated cameras. I guarantee they have already been placed. Thank you. Next up. What else do we have here? Rosaline sends $10 and goes, happy Sunday. We know how important the ARCA testimony is to finding Karen Reed not guilty. We also know the first jury was more concerned in the mystery of who hired them and discounted their testimony as a distraction. After interviewing Ronnie, what are your thoughts on how the defense should present ARCA differently so this jury hears this important testimony? Thanks, Rosaline. Well, for one, I'll tell you one thing that they can improve, and that's a good question, is that now they know how the Commonwealth is going to counter them, because I think that they thought that the ARC experts were just going to be a death blow, and they were. They came as they're better than I could have imagined. They were so good. Like, it's over when I heard them. However, now we know that the Commonwealth's response to that is going to be, well, did they tell you about the tech stream data? Did they tell you there was DNA on the taillight? Did they tell you she said, I hit him? No. Oh, wow. They must have been hiding shit. It's like none of that has to do with the physics. So that's why we weren't told about that. But even if we were, that wouldn't make a difference in the world. So now they know they've had 9 months to prep these witnesses. And so now they can tell them ahead of time. Now they can show them the tech stream data. Say, here's the tech stream data. And they'll look through it and they'll be able to say, yeah, this doesn't affect anything. This means nothing. Okay, cool. So that thing says that she went 24 miles an hour in reverse at some unknown point. Cool story, bro. What does that have to do with the fact that his injuries are inconsistent with a motor vehicle collision? So now, like, just take away what they're going to use. That's what they're going to use. They've already shown their hand, right? So you bring it up at the beginning. You bring it up, and you talk about it, and you like, fine, because it doesn't fucking matter. None of that shit matters. So just give it to them. Give it to them ahead of time. Doesn't fucking matter. So that's the advantage I think they'll have with them this time around. Thank you. All right, next up. Cyber Chicken Boston sends $50 and goes, why didn't the defense? Just kidding. I hate all these conspiracy theories. Shut the fuck up. Love you. Well, thank you. It's like, I do love when people ask me those questions. Why didn't the defense do this? I don't fucking know. I'm not the defense. I'm just a guy on YouTube who analyzes the case. I don't fucking know. Talk to them. I'm sure they have their reasons. Next up. Refresh us. Claire sends $20 and goes, hi, Doc. I'm super hyped for this new trial and to see you back in action. Let's fucking go. Free Karen Reed, free Turtle Boy. Thank you, Claire. I appreciate that very much. I'm hyped too. Nobody sends $5 and goes, just a random comment. Ring cameras are motion activated. And I have mine set up to not show me every time my neighbors leave for work, so they can only monitor my driveway and yard. Yeah, but the thing about it is, if a person outside your house was hit by a car, that would be the motion that would be picked up, wouldn't it? So thank you. Lisa sends $10, goes, happy birthday to the JFK show off. Hope you all get to hang out and stand out together. Free Karen Reed. Thank you. Is it JFK's birthday? Awesome. The best turtle chat ever sends $5 and goes, what was John's temperature when he got to the hospital? Because at 18 degrees or below, it's supposed to drop 10 degrees per hour. It was in the 80s, like low 80s, because he wasn't out there for that long. Thank you. Well, Leanne, very generous, Leanne. Leanne sends 250 big ones and says, this is just for being awesome. I hope this is short enough for you. That's what she said. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And thank you for being awesome. You're the bomb, Leanne. Thank you. Next up, Nikki sends $10 and goes, maybe I missed you saying, but what are your plans for the weeks you aren't in court? Live streaming, out with protesters, a little bit of both. Yeah, I would say a little bit of both. I'm just not going to, of course I want to be out there with the protesters, but I want to live stream this shit, as much as possible. So, on the weeks that I'm not allowed in court, that's what I'll be doing. I'll be playing it by ear, basically. And if I'm one of the alternates, yeah, I'll be fucking right near there in case somebody can't make it in, whatever, I can stream from the registry of deeds. Like, it is what it is. So thank you for that one, Nikki. CEO Eliza sends $10. Okay, this is a little bit inappropriate, but she wrote it, and I'm going to read it. I always get sexually harassed in the Turtle chats, but that's okay. CO Liza sends $10 and goes, Daddy looks hot. Show us the Intimidator. That's how you get kicked off YouTube, dear. That will not be happening. But, ask Michael Gaffney. I'm sure he has a collection of them. So there's that. Next up, Morgan Lindsay sends $5 and goes, probably a dumb question, but why are they wanting 18 jurors instead of the required 16 that they already have? Are they anticipating some of the jurors to drop out? You are correct, Morgan. That is a stupid question. But that's okay. I like you anyway. To answer your stupid question, and I'm not making fun of you at all. You called it a dumb question, so I'm just kidding around. This is this case lasts 3 months, and last time there was only 14. They had 17 jurors to start, and when it was all said and done, there was only 14. So there's that. There's only 14 jurors when it was all said and done. So, they can't have a scenario in which there's like 11. Imagine I don't know what would happen then. It would be a mistrial, I think. So you got to it's better safe than sorry kind of thing, Anyway, next up. Kristen sends $10, goes, Jen McCabe debunked. How did Jen McCabe know how to delete text messages with her daughters, but not how to delete phone calls, as she claimed? Did she really claim that she didn't know how to, or that she didn't? I think she said she didn't know how to delete a Google search, but I didn't know that she could. Wow, that's interesting. All right, cool. Thank you very much, Kristen. Court. So that's hopefully they ask her that. Courtney sends $5 and goes, hello from Indiana. Do you know what's going on with Rita Lombardi? Did she ditch the FKR movement? Where's she been for round 2? She took a break from, being outside. But hopefully she comes back for trial 2, because she brought a lot of energy and enthusiasm, and hopefully we see her again. So, Rita's been here for a while. So hopefully we see more of Rita in the future. Anyway, next up. Twister sends $5 and goes, Doc, just wondering what day you think Courtney will get called to the stand for her tuba performance. Done. I'm just want to follow that bitch around with a tuba. I don't think she's on any witness list for either side. So I don't think she's going to be called. So there's that. Next up. Yeah, and Rita's been really busy with the town election stuff, and it worked because her candidate, Susan Harrington, won 2-1. Is a land like John Connolly's out, bro. That's crazy. That's crazy. That motherfucker's gone. So there's that. Next up. Kevin sends $10 and says, why can't Morrissey be called up to testify? If he can make the hostage video, he must be good enough to take the stand. You'd think so, Kevin. But the answer to that is Judge Cannoni's going to protect him. So there's that. Let me refresh this. Wait, hold on. Did I miss a couple here? Delaylan sends $10 and says, why does Covendaver keep saying Karen is responsible and guilty for John's death because of the grand jury indictment? Makes zero sense. I saw she said that once. Let me see if I can find this tweet. You guys got to see this. Did I respond to this? Oh, here it is. I couldn't believe when I saw this tweet. So Kofandoofus tweets, a grand jury found that Karen Reed and Karen Reed alone murdered John O'Keefe when she was mad and backed into him with her Lexus. Is she this retarded? Like, really? She doesn't know the function of a grand jury? Kofin doofus, you fucking moron. I know you're retarded. Like, you are not borderline retarded. You're full retarded. And I really don't think she understands what a grand jury is. So a grand jury indicts people based on probable cause, which the bar for probable cause is really low. You only need a simple majority of grand jurors to vote to indict. They say that you can indict a ham sandwich. That is not the same thing as saying that they found her. They don't make findings of guilt. They don't make findings whether or not Karen Reed murdered John O'Keefe. So the fact that she's really, does she think that? Is she that retarded? I don't know. The fact that woman ever worked for the FBI is exactly why Trump is doing the right thing by eliminating these DEI initiatives, because she is the poster child for DEI. They're like, we need a woman up here. Anyone will do, really. We just need to hire some chicks in the FBI and make girl power, that shit. And then they throw her up and she's fucking retarded. Like that. There's no other way around it. Okay. Next up. Paul's Boston Cream Ryan sends $10 and goes, defense needs to hammer home that John as soon as I see defense needs to hammer home that John had multiple male blood DNA on his clothes, including on the inside of his shoe. If possible, ask the cops why they didn't do any further investigation and make that point annoying. That's a good point. That is a fair point. They should definitely hammer that down. Also, what's your theory on why people in the house need Higgins keep by the mailbox? Well, the only people that said Higgins was by the mailbox's car were Jennifer and Matt McCabe. And we've been over this a few times. I don't think it's ever been answered fully, but I would assume it's to discredit Ryan Nagel, Heather Maxson, and Ricky D'Antano by putting a Jeep in between Karen's car and their car. Although that doesn't really fix the problem, because they all said that the Jeep wasn't there. And when they drove by the car, Karen's car, they looked inside and John wasn't inside. So I'm not sure. That's still a mystery to me why they're doing that. So that's a good question. Thank you. Okay. Let me just refresh this one more time. Wallace sends $10 and goes, I genuinely hope when this is all over, there's a Pulitzer hanging on your wall. You've certainly earned it. Thank you, Wallace. I won't be expecting a Pulitzer anytime soon. It's just the doc. The doc is what I'm looking for, guys. Like, I was so excited that the guys from Compelling were out here filming on the first day of jury deliberations. They followed me around all day, and they're going to be out more and more during the trial. They're obviously investing time and money into this project, and I'm just thinking about how good this documentary is going to be when it's done, and I just can't wait to see it. It's going to be so good. I can't wait. So I don't need a Pulitzer. Just give me a good doc and a movie that comes along with it too. A Hollywood movie. It's going to be dope. Fuck a Pulitzer. I don't give a shit about Pulitzer. Thank you. Lindsay sends $100. Thank you, Lindsay. She goes, I liked old Turtle Boy, but the new Turtle Boy approach, combined with original knowledge, guts, and smarts, opens more doors where you can affect change. For sure. For sure. I feel like this fundraiser is back on because of the mature way I handled it, you know? So we'll get to that. Thank you. Kim Jung Kanoni sends $5 and goes, ever since we have face recognition or PIN and password on phones, the only butt dials nowadays is the emergency button in 911. Jen Brian Higgins, please explains. Fuck liars. Correct. Thank you. Morgan sends $5 and goes, I feel like I need to donate another $5 for my dumbass question. So here you go. I think you called it a dumb question. So I was just busting your chops. Thank you, Morgan. Bishy McBish sends $10 and goes, probably a dumb question. Can Karen's family invite you to sit with them? That's not a dumb question at all, actually. And the answer to that is yes, they could. But I mean, it's different this time around. I mean, last time around, I was too hot. Like I was fresh out of jail, back on the streets, if you will, getting new charges and shit like that. A lot of time has passed, and so I guess they could, but again, then they're just giving fodder to Hank Brennan. He's gonna be like, see, he's sitting with them right now. He's an intimidator. All right, so there's that. Next up, FKR. Here we go again. Sends $5. Goes, new medical examiner testified on the Tuerk case. Yes, she did. She takes no shit from the DA. Thank you, free Karen Reed and free Turtle Boy. Yeah. Sorry, I keep coughing, but yeah, the Tuerk case, as you guys saw, he was found not guilty of all murder charges and guilty of manslaughter, which, in my opinion, was the appropriate punishment. I know some people disagree, people who I respect. People like Melanie Little disagree with that. But I just looked at the totality of all I didn't factor in, I don't factor in the family. And I think that's what, I'm not criticizing her at all. When I watched, because I watched the Tuerk trial on her channel. I listened because I like to hear her commentary on it. And she had, in the chat was, Kathleen, the victim's daughter, was in the chat. And, she would often say that, you got to be respectful of the family because the family's in the chat and we support, her and that's completely her prerogative. I feel bad for them. They lost their mother, obviously. But to me, what I'm not going to do is not tell the whole story because it might offend a member of the victim's family. I mean, obviously, in the Karen Reed case, I've upset the victim's family immensely. They don't like me because I've said what I've said, So Katie, Kathleen's family doesn't like me. Her brother confronted me on the stairs. And I haven't really done a deep dive into the case. I've just interviewed people. Bro, I've had multiple people reach out to me. Not just one. I had one on the show. I've spoken to close to 10 different people, all of whom have messaged me and said various versions of the same story. That Katie McLean, right? Yeah. Kathleen McLean, that she falsely accused her last husband, Stephen Roca, of rape, that she's called the cops on him multiple times, that she got orders against him, that she's done this with every guy she dated. It sounded like hell dating her, to be perfectly honest with you. It sounded like fucking hell. And quite frankly, it sounded like she was abusive. Let's just call it what it is, right? That's abusive behavior. Women can be abusive too. That doesn't mean they're going to kick the shit out of you, but mental abuse is still abuse. And I've been the victim of that shit before with the fake victim. And if people didn't believe me until you heard what she did to Mary Bagwell, that was a small microcosm of my life. And, as a man, you got to take the abuse. I just took it. Dr. Tuerk snapped, right? And I'm sorry, but that's part of the whole fucking story. It is. And well, she got a restraining order on him before. Yeah, because that's what she did. She got a restraining order on him the day after she found an email that he wrote to a divorce attorney asking to get a divorce. That she just suddenly is like, I want to, he's hit, it was a revenge restraining order. He didn't want to get married. And then they went to Vegas and got liquored up and they went through a fucking drive-through to get married. That's twisted, man. That's twisted. And I'm sorry. It's I know I'm not going to win over her kids. They're not going to be turtle riders. and that's fine. But I got to tell the truth. And I don't care if they're in the chat. It's not my job to make sure that they're not offended by shit. It's my job to tell it as it is. And quite frankly, this sounded like a manslaughter case, not a murder case. That is my take on the Tuerk thing. And I think the jury got it completely right. I do. I think they got this case perfectly right. And I think the punishment is going to be perfectly appropriate. He's been in jail for the last 5 years, as he should be, because he was dangerous. I mean, people that have it in them to choke someone to death and take their life are dangerous. And so that's a good thing. And then if he just called 911 instead of putting rocks in her fucking pants and throwing her in a goddamn pond, then he'd probably be in a lot less shit. So there's that. All right, next up. Christine sends $10, goes, is the Albert's front yard really as large as it appears in the photo behind you? If not, why not bring the jury to see how unlikely it was that no one saw John? Can't tell if you're kidding around or not, but because we've been over this, we've said it a million times. It's not nearly as big as it looks in this picture. And they have gone there. They do bring the jury to the yard, so they're going to do it again. So there's that. Danielle sends $10 and goes, shout out to the Colin was in the house free Kearney team in the Teamsters Local 170 Challenge. I'm inviting myself to your team. All right. Sounds good. T Money sends $5 and goes, during the second jury drawing, make Jameson Jim show his balls. Yeah, she's talking, keep fighting Turtle Boy and Free Kearney. Not his literal balls. The numbers. Margaret, she's the clerk in my case. She was the clerk in the Tuerk case as well. And she pulled the numbers out and she showed them to the class. So there was no shenanigans. Jameson Jim didn't do that, of course. He's such a shyster, that guy. Anyway, you wrong sends $5 and goes, what are you going to do when two decorated dudes are found innocent? You wrong. Colin is guilty. I don't know. I don't know. You wrong. Thank you. MK sends $10 and goes, do you think this time they will show that Karen's phone didn't go up the 3 flights of stairs when John's did? Thanks for everything. I would hope so. That's one of many things they need to do in this trial. Thank you. Amanda sends $10, goes, hey, Unc, Marietta Sullivan sleeps with her left arm out and a football tucked under her right arm. Okay. Thank you very much, Amanda. Mandy sends $5 and goes, pretty sure when Colin was cutting promos on the Advantage Boys, like he was auditioning for Monday Night Raw, he didn't have future pizza delivery guy to the champs on his vision board. We're going to get to Colin. Thank you very much for that one. Okay. Let me see if we have any cash apps here. My cash app is $ Uncle Turtle Boy, by the way. We got $100 from Lindsay. And her cash app just says, you don't have to read. Well, there's nothing to read. So thank you very much, Lindsay. Angela sends $10 and goes, for staying up on course for the truth. Well, thank you very much, Angela. That's all I can do. Casey sends $5 and goes, set an alarm for every Tuesday to email the court. I know I will. I'll never forget again, Casey, ever. I promise. L Joy sends $5 and goes, what would you look for? Man, what would you look for in a juror's profile? I have no idea what that means. Thank you for the $5. I appreciate that. Okay, cool. Anyway, I haven't been paying attention. What are people saying about the chat? I love this chat about Melanie, not Melanie the person. Again, I like Melanie because she's on our side with Karen Reed. That's what I care about most. And she's like, not just on our side, like she's a warrior for it. You know what I mean? She's 1000% biased and whatever. So I dig that. I don't agree with the Tuerk take, if you will, and that's okay. We don't have to agree on everything. Okay. So if anybody else wants to have their message read out loud to the class, click at the link at the top for Turtle Chat, or you can cash at me at $ Uncle Turtle Boy. Real quick to review what happened last night. I did a live on it. I'll talk about it again. I did an impromptu live last night. There's a restaurant in Peabody called Toscanos. And let's see, there it is. They it was announced are going to be hosting a not hosting, but they'll be the venue for a Karen Reed fundraiser May 1st from 7 to 11 p.m., $100. And it's a fundraiser, right? So that's cool. Well, they apparently got a whole bunch of negative phone calls and a couple negative reviews too, like this one from T. Richardson. Says, just saw an ad that you're hosting a party for a murder defendant. I'm disappointed that you guys would willingly host something like this for a group of people who have treated a victim's family with such hatred. And this just pisses me off because when I do this, it's witness intimidation. Kara Reed has a right to raise money if she wants. Other people have a right to raise money for her, and they're just bullying these people. So, you know, they got cold feet initially. They didn't know what was going on. They don't follow the Karen Reed case. The woman who organized it doesn't work there or anything. She just likes the restaurant, knows the people who own it. And, she's like, let's do it here. And obviously they would make money off of this. They'd have a cash bar. Everyone would be happy coming out of this. But they got some negative phone calls, and there was like 6 or 7 of them, they said. And they didn't know what to do. The manager was like, yeah, this sounds a little bit controversial. I don't know what's going on. And just the way they frame it, like a murder defendant, you're supporting a cop killer and blah, 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 blah. No, motherfucker. That would be that's Jen McCabe. We're not having a fundraiser for Jennifer McCabe. We're not doing that. Nobody's proposing that. An actual cop killer, right? So this obviously gave, they got all nervous about it. They're like, yeah, I think we should back off. That was their take initially. Now, old me, like I said, would have been like, fuck them. Let's fucking, you're siding with the McAlberts. Let's do this. But new me is like, whoa, maybe there's a solution to this. Maybe there's a diplomatic way to handle this. If I just take a deep breath, control my emotions, and speak to them like human beings. And so I asked for the phone number for the owner, and I got it. And I called him up, and we had a good talk. And he told me that, he's like, look, I don't know anything about this case. My manager called me telling me that we're getting phone calls, and she just doesn't want to do it. And I said, fuck it, just go somewhere else. Just do it somewhere else. And I'm like, and I said to him, I'm like, and then what happens when we go there and they get harassed? Because that'll happen next. Eventually, somebody's got to host it. Somebody has to stand up to these people. I'm like, you're a restaurant. This is your business, man. This is your livelihood. That restaurant belongs to you. You work hard, and you reserve the right to do business with whoever you want. You don't owe anyone an explanation for this shit. You hosting it isn't an endorsement of Free Karen Reed. It's making money off of Free Karen Reed. Quite frankly, it's like all these new customers coming in here, buying drinks, tipping the wait staff, like all this shit. And I told him, I framed it to him, like, this is your restaurant. And if you cancel this, you're telling the message that you're sending to these trolls is that you guys are in charge. You guys get to decide who I have in my business and who I get to sell food to. And, you know, I didn't threaten. I didn't say anything like, oh, well, we're going to turn a mob against you. I didn't do anything like that. Because I wouldn't do that. I'm not trying to do that here. I could, but I'm not going to, because there's no need for that. There's no need to be confrontational when you can just have a conversation with somebody. And so he goes, let me talk this over with my family. And he did. And he called me back an hour later and he's like, yeah, I thought about it and fuck him. Like, nobody gets to tell me what to do. And it's like, yes, exactly. Nobody gets to tell you what to do, period. Nobody gets to come here and say, you can't host a fundraiser, you know, and it's all just these losers who have no power, no control. And they were so happy at first, some of these losers. They were like, yes, we're going to go buy gift cards to them. And they were like, so like, it was like a joke to them, like a fundraiser. And, you know, it was great to see. Good defeated evil last night. Good defeated evil. And that was awesome. So, that's happening May 1st at Toscano's in Peabody. I'll definitely be going, because fuck it. I have to go now, you know? Anyway. So that's that. All right. What's up next here? Oh yeah. Let's talk about mass accountability. I want to find this. So you guys got to see this video. All right. So there's this guy named Tommy Matson, who's like a First Amendment auditor, who I want to be very clear about this. So First Amendment auditors are people who film themselves on YouTube, usually going around into the traditionally police stations and filming. And they call it themselves auditors because they're auditing, First Amendment auditors, because they're seeing, will this place allow us to film because we have a right to film? And they're just kind of testing it out, right? And so or not me, when Krusty Panties used to work for me, she used to make a lot of, write a lot of articles and do a lot of video content mocking First Amendment auditors and criticizing them because some of them are fucking ridiculous. Like this character named Josh Abrams, who would go around just and Joa Orga. That guy was the worst. What do we call him? Grundle Stiltskin. That's what we called him. And they would just go around just harassing cops, just go into police stations randomly and just harass them and hope that they could provoke the cops into overreacting, kicking them out, whatever. So, you know, just create problems. And it's like, yeah, we have a right to do that. And whatever. That's why they called it an audit. Then they would start going into town halls and just harassing. Like, let me see if I can find Josh Abrams here. Does he still have it? What was his channel called? I forget. Auditing America. That's what it was. Our accountability for all. Videos. Let's see. So he's still doing this. He's like a month. This is all he does, huh?
I'm just taking videotapes of us and you just wanted to do it.
I've never been here before in my life.
Me neither. It must have been something that just same idea.
It was probably another American that had rights and wanted to exercise them without being hassled. Isn't that crazy?
I just don't understand why you want to hassle us then.
I don't. I came in here and you gave me a hard time. You know, you mind your business, I'll mind mine. How about that? Because I feel like it.
Are you allowed to?
Am I not allowed to?
Is it a crime?
Portrait. Just like that. Okay, did you take it?
Not yet.
Do you want us to smile?
Yeah.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Not to go far. Citizen?
international law and
any person, whether you're
under different rules.
no, any
than
person,
citizens.
whether they're under.
How do you know?
Hold on, any person. Hold on, any person.
Run my business.
And this is what they do. They just kind of go around filming people at work, and in the hopes that one of them will get upset and be like, you can't do that. And they do have a right to do this, to be clear. You absolutely have a right to walk into any public institution and film. And so that's fine. I'm not against that. I'm just like, what is the purpose of this? Like, okay, cool. You found the lady behind the desk at the town clerk in Needham or whatever is the old lady there feels uncomfortable with you photographing her and says something. Okay. Like bombshell. Like my issue with the First Amendment auditors is, why aren't they going to Canton? Like, that's a place that actually needs it. Like, actual corruption is existing. I've yet to see Josh Abrams get in the face of a Canton police officer or anyone else in town because he's scared to. I mean, that's what you come down to. It's like, yeah, you go over after the little old ladies, but how come you're not going after the actual criminals? They're not doing that. Like, where are they? You know? And so Krusty used to expose these people and criticize them. And one of the people she also criticized was Tommy Matson. And granted, I'm not a follower of Tommy's. I haven't followed his stuff like I did Abrams. I didn't know much about him at all, to be perfectly honest with you. And, you know, he comes to the Free Canton Read stuff. He's definitely, I would say he's a supporter of Free Canton Read in general and holding these people accountable. He's been to a lot of he kind of does his own thing, but he's there a lot. Anyway, I thought Tommy and I were cool, but last week he's like he's like, you used to sell back to blue shit and blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, bro, we've been over this. I did. I don't anymore because I think it's bullshit. I think the thin blue, we used to sell thin blue line merch and all that stuff. And I stopped selling it because it's bullshit. It's all fake. That's why I stopped selling it. It's fake. Because these people don't give a fuck about dead cops at all. Like, you're allowed, like, all this thin blue line shit. Oh, yeah, blah, 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 blah. Oh, our fallen officers, blah, blah, blah. Unless another cop kills them, then it's cool. Then it's okay. That's how I knew the thin blue line shit was just a marketing campaign. It's fucking bullshit. They don't give a fuck about dead cops. They don't give a fuck about murdered cops because John O'Keefe was murdered by a cop, and every cop in America with a fucking brain knows that he was killed inside Brian Albert's house. They don't got shit to say about that, do they? They don't got shit. I don't see any thin blue line shit. Actually, the people with the thin blue lines in the window, they're the ones who killed him. So yeah, fuck that shit. It's fake. That's why I stopped doing it. So yeah, Tommy, you got me. Back in the day, I did that, and yeah, I've changed my opinion. So you win, Tommy. You got it. Okay. Anyway, Tommy went down to he went into Canton and just started filming because this is what he does. And apparently, Chris and Colin Albert didn't like this. And so they went and cried to the Canton Police Department. And you got to see this video.
In 2025, I went to Canton, Massachusetts to check out the restaurants that have been highlighted in the Karen Reed trial, who is a woman that has been accused of killing her Boston police officer boyfriend. His name is John O'Keefe, and he was found in the front yard of another Boston police officer named Brian Albert. The last two restaurants that they were at were C.F. McCarthy's and the Waterfall restaurant. Right next door to C.F. McCarthy's is D&E Pizza, that is owned by the Canton selectman, Chris Albert, who is the brother of Brian Albert. A perspective of all three restaurants, the cameras. And while I was there filming in front of C.F. McCarthy's, a woman had walked up, and we had a conversation for about 5 minutes after she pointed to the signs in the windows of D&E Pizza, asking me if I support both of the signs, which is supporting justice for John O'Keefe and supporting Canton Police Department. Right at the end of our conversation, I noticed a Jeep pull up a couple parking spots down, and I was finished with my filming, so I went over to my car. I had heard a call come in for a woman that thought she was being followed, so while I was walking over to my car, I sat down to get directions off of Google Maps to that place.
Awesome.
To the car, you can. The last ping on the phone was by Steeplechase on Shannon.
Once I got in my car, he got out of the Jeep and he started literally standing there staring at me. So I activated my body cam and started recording with my phone. As you see, he's going to be staring at me right when I start recording. And he was doing that for at least 10,
There's
15
Colin.
seconds. He goes to the door and then he walked back to his vehicle.
Why does he always dress like this? Like he's always he's always wearing a hoodie and sweatpants, like he's in hiding. But he's always at D&E Pizza too. He's just such a fucking loser. Why? Like he could go to. Why isn't he back in college? Oh, right, he was being harassed. Yeah, sure he was. But I thought McAlberts don't care about shit like that anymore. Plus, you know, you guys, I haven't spoken to these people in forever. They don't like nobody's threatening to do that and harass him at his school. Nobody's doing that. So why isn't he back there? The answer is he's too retarded to be in school. We've heard Colin's poetry. He's retarded. So this is what Colin does now.
Once I start pulling away, he also pulls out of his parking spot. So I figured what he was going to do was follow me. So I banged a Yui and we ended up passing by each other once again. I pulled back around down the street and then I headed to the call that I was going to of the woman being followed, which was very close to the police station on Washington Street. It's called Cassie's Corner Store. That call was cleared as soon as I was pulling up. The officers were getting back in their car. I went down the street, turned around. I ended up being behind a police officer and I was heading to Canton PD. I parked here at the cemetery. And I walked down to Canton PD because you know how we do when we're out filming police. You don't want them to get your vehicle and your identification from your license plate. When I was pulling past the police department to go park at the cemetery, I noticed who is now known as Colin pulling into the police department. And you can see his Jeep to the left right there. I pay him no mind because I'm not there for him. I'm there to document the police department as I visited there 2 years prior. And I wanted to see if they had limited access to the public on the second floor, which they have since I was there last time. When I came outside, Colin was gone. And then Chris passed by me right here and he went through the authorized personnel.
Not a Ford Edge.
Only going around the back to the one-way exit on the other side of the building. When I was walking back to the cemetery, I turned around and noticed Colin passing by me once again right here. So I knew what he was going to do. He's going to go down and turn around once again. So I turn around, go back, and I stand on this stone wall so I can get another video of him once again passing by me, as it seems as he's following me and not I'm following him. Remember, D&E Pizza was to the right when you come out of the police department, and he took a left. And this must be the second time he looped around because of what he describes in this body worn camera footage. After he went by us and not I'm following him. Remember, D&E Pizza was to the right when you come out of the police department, and he took a left.
Let me see here. Is this definitely Colin? Let me slow this down.
And this is must be the second time he looped.
Is that Colin?
Around.
That's him, right?
Because of.
Oh yeah, that's definitely Colin. So Colin is following this guy around town. So these people just sit there and they're like, well, there's a guy over there. What should we do? Better follow him around. Better get in our car and follow him around because this is what we're going to do today. That's definitely Colin.
What he describes in this body worn camera footage. After he went by, I started cleaning my windows because I was parked underneath a tree, and then I heard the radio transmission come in, which made me get this body cam footage.
Return to parking the lobby. They're being followed around. Not connected to the recent call.
And as you all heard,
Colin called the cop.
The recent call, which was the other call I went to down at Cassie's Corner Store. For everyone that follows me here on YouTube, I'm sorry I haven't been posting lately. I have a lot of stuff that's been going on. I'm going to be able to post a lot more and kind of give you guys updates of what's been happening. I have one case that's in the appeals process, and I have another case that's going to be a revocation of plea. So I'm going to have two open cases once again, and I will keep you guys updated.
So here's Chris and Colin. So he got the body camera footage of Chris and Colin going to the police to complain about this guy, Tommy Matson, just being around. And so keep in mind, yeah, as he shows you, Colin is following him around. And these little bitches go down to the police to cry about it. These guys just go to the cops for everything. They're such pussies. Such pussies.
Hey guys, hey, what's up? Do you guys want to have a seat? We'll talk in the interview room. Give me some privacy. Yep. Hold on. Quiet.
Oh, there's Chris and Colin.
So what's going on today, guys?
So pretty much I went to supposed to work for him today.
Okay.
I went up.
What time? 11:30 right now.
10:50. I pulled in.
So 10:50.
Yeah, pulled in the front of D&E.
So you parked on Wash?
Yep. Sure. And I saw some guy in front of D&E. I didn't really think anything of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so we crossed the street. I stopped paying attention. And then I go up to the door at D&E, and there's this guy in this 1960 Lincoln just staring at me. No, it's a Lincoln, 150% Lincoln.
Okay.
Just staring at me, which happens.
Is it the same guy?
He's staring
that you saw
at me.
before?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And,
oh no, not
got in his
staring.
Lincoln and staring.
Not staring.
Just walked back to my car, off to my car, and drove away. And I went off towards Canton Market, pulled around in Canton Market, and all of a sudden he was going the same way I was going. And then I went down towards the town hall. I pulled around in the town hall and through the back like business buildings over there. And
So like, why are you just why is he doing this? So you saw a guy and then you followed him around and then you're driving, like, why? And you're a victim? Like, what is he a victim of here? What is he a victim?
And I pulled out of the town hall and all of a sudden he was right behind me again. So I went back up towards D&E. I think I pulled around in maybe the Walgreens parking lot.
You notice that Colin doesn't say the letter L. He needs pulled. I pulled, not, it's pronounced pulled with an L. It rolls off the tongue, not pulled. I pulled. Listen to the way he says pulled. He says it.
And through the back like business buildings over there. And I pulled out of the town hall and all of a sudden he was right behind me again. So I went back up towards D&E. I think I pulled around in maybe the Walgreens parking lot. I can't
This is like how my son talks. He's like 7. You know, like he does that too. I'm like, I would, because you're working on speech. You're freaking 7. Why does he say pulled? Pulled around, pulled.
Remember now. And then I drove straight here. And then I drove straight here. And then all of a sudden the guy.
You want to go lock the car?
No, it's all right. I'm to the police station. Should be fine. And then.
So just to have this right, you went from D&E to Canton Market. Did you pull on?
Pull back on Washington.
Did you take a left down? Mechanic.
Turned around the
So you go mechanic and then like kind of.
Yeah, little swoop.
Yeah, you did a swoop, and then you went opposite. You went towards the police station. You went towards town hall.
Yeah, and then turned around
you
and building right next to the town hall.
You didn't turn up to Sherman Street. You turned.
Oh, I turned on to Sherman Street.
Okay, so
turned on to Sherman Street, and then that first left, not in the town hall. The building.
Okay, so that's like 7.
Oh my God.
770. Let's call it.
Yeah.
So let's say town hall's 800. That's 770. So you turned right onto Sherman, right behind that business, and then left in front of the library. You popped up like in the library.
Yeah.
Front of the library. Okay.
Yep. And then he was driving right past me again, staring at me the whole way driving by.
Oh no.
And I think I went back up towards Walgreens and then turned back. I forget which part.
So
even Walgreens.
I have this right. Canton. You went from D&E to Canton Market. Did you notice he was following you at that point?
Yes.
Okay. And then you did that little turnaround in the building before Town Hall on Washington Street. You went Sherman, that building, and when you were either turning left or preparing to turn left onto Washington Street. So this is you. This is Washington Street. You saw him coming this way on Washington.
Come right by, and then I took a left right there, and then turned back around.
So you turned left on Washington Street, basically.
I saw him go by, and he had his head every single time I drove by him. He was staring at me.
Sure.
With almost his head out of the window, staring at me drive by.
No.
And then I did another turn. Now I'm forgetting.
So you turned onto.
So he's staring at him, and so what does he do? I'm following him around because he's staring at me. And this is what I mean. These people think that just no one else has rights around them at all. Like, newsflash, anyone can stare at Colin Albert whenever they want to. They could sit there all fucking day and stare at him. Tough shit. Exactly. As Tim Bradle said, tough shit. You're allowed to stare at people, period.
What? Well, like you turned out to Bolivar Street?
No. I stayed in Washington the whole time.
You said Bolivar?
You had to turn around though, so where'd you turn around after you took a left?
Oh my God.
So you turned
I think it was Bolivar and into the Walgreens parking lot.
Okay, then when you were in the Bolivar Street, when you were in the parking lot of Walgreens, how did you from there you came here, or were there more stops and turns?
No, from there I came here, but then I turned around and he drove by me again on the way here. And then when I was on the way, he drove by me after I turned out of Walgreens. He drove by me again on the way here.
So how did you get from Walgreens to here? Did you turn left onto Bolivar and go Pleasant, or did you come Washington?
I came Washington.
Okay.
I turned out of Walgreens.
Took a right and then a right.
Yes.
Okay.
And then he drove by me again. So then
on Washington Street, so probably in the vicinity of what, D&E?
A little further closer to Seasons Ganja.
Okay, so he turned around again and
okay. And then I turned around and drove straight.
Called me. I said, go to the police station.
So I drove straight here, and then he somehow ended up 4 cars behind me coming to the police station. Then I parked out there.
Hold on, let me just take these notes down real quick.
Fuck you. Yeah, fuck you, you pussy. Clean code, boy.
I'm just want to ask one question. Did you know that he was behind you on your way here? You said he was 4 cars back. At what point did you realize?
When I turned in here, I saw his Lincoln about 3-4 cars back behind me again.
Okay, sure.
Pulled into here. I sat in my car for a couple minutes, maybe 5 minutes. I was on and off the phone with my dad.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, I see the guy walk right behind my car. So I recorded my car in the parking lot and recording all sorts of building, everything. And then I started walking here.
Yeah.
Pull up. I mean,
and went down that way, and I actually saw his car parked in the cemetery.
Okay, so you took a left out of here.
Like, the fact that the Canton police are even humoring this is part of the problem. They're like, so what are you alleging is a crime here? Exactly. Like, I don't know. The Worcester police, if I came to them with this, they would be like, The fuck you want me to do? To hold the police with to say the same shit. Okay. What crime are you alleging has been committed here? And said this guy's like, so tell me what street you pulled into. So you took a left in there. Oh, okay, cool. So you took a left on the boulevard, or you took a left? Okay, where'd you do the? Okay, what are we doing here? This is where your tax dollars go towards in Canton. This, tough guy, Mr. Yeah, whatever happened to pull up, bitch? Whatever happened to that? Now we're crying to the cops because Tommy Matson in his, I think it's an Oldsmobile too, is looking at him. Okay.
You went down there.
So, just because I need to be specific, you take a left out of here.
Yep. I take a left past.
So you can either go Randolph Street or you can go Washington Street.
I went straight.
So you went straight, stayed on Washington Street.
Stayed on Washington.
So you went St. Mary's would be on your left because Randolph Street also has a cemetery.
Yes.
Okay.
But he was on the one on the right. His car was in the Randolph Street one.
Gotcha. So if you take a left out of here, there is the church that's physically next to our building. There's the one that's across the street, and then that cemetery. He was in that cemetery.
Yes, he was walking to his car. He turned around, and then he saw my car drive by. So he clicked. I think he had a GoPro.
Yeah.
I saw him click something right here. And then I turned around and went straight down, turned around in Kearney Street.
Yep.
Right across, and came back up. And he was actually, this time, he was standing on the rock wall on the Randolph cemetery side.
Boys.
On the rock wall recording.
I will beat all your ass.
Okay.
I promise you, I will fuck you all up.
So you said it was 1960s Lincoln?
Well, I'm just guessing, honestly. Yeah, something. It's probably the 70s.
Not so tough now.
I'll take a
Not so tough
if you want to
now.
forward that to my town email, it's M Chin at town. I'm sure you know at this point.
M Chin. So the only thing I can say is that I verified.
Oh God! Now they redact a bunch of shit too.
That's his car. Probably 70s.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, we're not gonna.
Yeah.
So it's a white. We'll call that. What's the name for those? Like older.
Or is it Buick? It's hard to tell.
I'm just gonna call it. Yeah. I'm just gonna call it an older American car.
Yeah.
So it's a white older American car. Is there any chance you guys got his license plate at all?
I didn't. I mean, it might show up.
We might be able to figure it out. But did you get any partial digits? Do you know it started with a 1? Did you know it ended with?
Yeah, I never saw
no
it.
digit.
Yeah.
Okay.
The fuck does it matter? It doesn't matter. Like the questions that this guy's asking. It's like they're acting like this is like a real thing they need to investigate. They didn't put half this effort into the murder of John O'Keefe or Sandra Birchmore. There were no questions like this involving either of them. Have you guys looked into the Ford Edge yet? I mean, that seems like a car you should take a little more interest in than the car that Colin Albert saw staring at him and taking pictures. I mean, nobody died here. Somebody died. That Ford Edge was right next to a dead body, wasn't it? You guys said that there was a dead body out there. Nobody saw the dead body.
Yeah. So I heard somebody was in here filming. Sounds like they're probably related. I mean, I don't know how many people were in here filming today. I know it's a
usual occurrence for you guys.
Yeah. From what you're telling me, I'm not sure anything would be criminal. Obviously, you did the right thing coming here because you got to protect yourself.
You did the right thing.
But
you got to protect.
Following you on the public streets, I'm not sure. Obviously, if he's involved in some of your cases or something like that, if there's orders, we'll see if we can determine who he is. But I'm not sure if there's anything criminal yet. But what would be important would be...
AKA, is it Turtle Boy? No? Then what the fuck do you want us to do? Because, yeah, you guys got stay away orders on him because, Chris and Colin are little bitches who need protection from the court because they be sad and they tell prosecutor Cosgrove that big bad Turtle Boy, he being mean to me. He wookie in the window and he make faces at me with the guerra. And they out there with Nan Gallagher and he is doing the T-Wax arms to us. And he is being really mean. He asking us about a Peter Booger. And he want to know why I killed him in 1994. And he make me so sad. He make me so sad. And me cry now. Me cry. Me want him arrested for witness intimidation. I mean, what a boo-boo baby bitch. These are the two biggest pussies who have ever lived. I mean, this has to hurt them, right? This has to hurt their, like, because they're fucking tough guys, right? They're like, that's their reputation is like, we're bad. I'm like, Colin Albert's reputation. Now, this is who he thinks he is.
You're a bitch, bro. Fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you, you pussy.
Clean cold, boy. You be knocked out. KO. Bang, bang.
Bang. I hope one thing they didn't grill Colin on last time, and I wish they did, just to humiliate him a little bit. And so, Alan Jackson, if you're watching, please listen carefully for your cross-examination of Colin Albert. Last time when they cross-examined Colin, they asked him, have you ever been in a fight before? And he said, no, never been in a fight. Okay. And we've produced a bunch of videos showing that he had been in a fight, but they didn't have that yet. So they asked him, have you ever been in a fight before? He goes, no, I've never been in a fight before with anyone but my brothers. So the next question I thought Alan Jackson should have asked after they played the Bang Bang videos. So you've never been in a fight before? Yeah. So you're just a poser, right? You're just somebody, you're the kind of person who acts tough, but isn't really about that life. You're not actually, so it's just, you're fake, right? You're not actually a tough guy. That was just an act you were pulling. You weren't actually going to beat up the Advantage Boys because you've never been in a fight before, have you? Right? And just nothing will hurt them more than that. I'm telling you, nothing will hurt Colin Albert more personally than being exposed as a poser or having to admit to being a poser, because he'd have to admit it. He'd be like, yeah, I'm just a huge fucking fraud. This whole act thing,
Yo, your Advantage Boys, I will beat all your asses. I promise you, I will fuck you all up. Pull up, bitch.
Yeah, so the truth of the matter is, if the Advantage Boys did pull up, I wouldn't actually beat their asses because I don't know how to fight. I've never been in a fight before. I wouldn't know what to do. I don't know how to fight. It's just that simple. Like, I hope, like, this is the real that, like, they need to pick a lane. You can't be the toughest guys in Canton and be such little bitches. You can't be both. They're contradictions of each other. Okay? So that's that. All right. Let me see. I also found this, speaking of, where the fuck was it? All right. Let's see. It was a Carrie Lama tweet. It was a funny one in which she was like defending him. Oh, here it is. Okay. So you guys remember, like, we found a video of Colin fighting, like, right away, and I posted it, right? Colin Albert testified that he's never been in a fight. We just received a video of what the sender claims to be Colin in a fight. He loses to a ginger in sandals. Article later coming after confirmation. And this is what Carrie Lama says. Again, this is a chick who is good friends with Jennifer McCabe. She actively protects cop killers. She's a nurse who's a pediatric nurse who's a danger around children because she supports the murder of a Boston police officer. So she said, this is Colin Albert and his friend, Mike Anderson. This is in May 22nd. Engaging in some harmless joking around or grab-assing, as Matt McCabe likes to say, during their junior year of high school. This is confirmed by me. By me. I mean, this is like, this is confirmed. It's also confirmed by who? That Colin has never been involved in a serious fight. No, it's a serious fight now. So it's a fake fight with Mike Anderson, whoever that is. See, this is the problem with these suburban boy moms, is they think and they act like, you know, that behavior like this.
Bitch, bro. Fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you, you pussy.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Clean cold, boy. You be knocked out. KO. Bang, bang.
Yeah. So, they act like this is normal. Like boys will be boys, you know, that it's not normal. There's nothing normal about that. And it's not cool to teach your boys that like, this is how boys are supposed to behave. It's not cool to normalize that. You could tell this woman, like her fucking sons are probably shitheads who are probably out of control themselves. And these boys like this grow up thinking that they can get away with anything because their moms and the wine moms who surround them just are like, yeah, the boys will do this. The boys will do this. The boys act like this. They allow this. They're permissive of this sort of behavior of young men. And then the young men grow up to fucking kill somebody and they immediately just rally around them. We're going to protect them some more. And we're going to call this grab assing. They're just joking around. His life has been destroyed. And I think he's all right. And he wasn't even at the house when Karen's car arrived. Also confirmed. Confirmed by who? Colin is out of the circus. Deal with it. Leave him alone, for God's sakes. Read the fucking room. How about this, Carrie? How about we do the exact opposite of that? How about we keep pointing out how this motherfucker was involved in the murder of a Boston police officer? I think I'm going to do that instead. And so she calls this fight, you know, I'm sure the fight's on it. I got to have a video of the fight somewhere. Is there a video of it? Yeah, this guy's never been in a fight. Sure thing. Right. He's just a poser. Again, this is not horsing around. This is a fight. I mean, not a good one. This is not just boys fucking around with each other. Like that. Look at this. Like that. He got knocked there. Colin left himself wide open and got knocked by a ginger. Okay. He stumbled. That's not horsing around. Horsing around is what Brian Higgins and Brian Albert did at the waterfall. You're not supposed to connect on a punch when you're horsing around. This is a fight, stupid. Look at that. He left himself open again. Look at that. Look at that. What up? Boom. Boom. The kid's wearing thong sandals. Here we go. Oh, look at him. Let's see what he does here. Jesus Christ. And they're probably shit-faced, granted. So anyway, and then we found 2 more fights after that, but this is just this permissive behavior by these suburban soccer moms, as they call themselves. But anyway, there's that. Okay, back to this video that we were watching.
Is if you see him multiple times, then you can articulate harassment and get those harassment prevention orders.
Wait, what?
I'm not sure if there's anything criminal yet, but what would be important is if you see him multiple times, then you can articulate harassment and get those harassment prevention orders.
This cop is just telling him, the cops always say this, just go to the court and get a harassment prevention order because we can't do shit. And they know that a judge is going to tell them fuck off too. Because Tommy Matson is not, you have to do something that puts a reasonable person in fear of physical harm via true threats or fighting words. Tommy Matson didn't say a word at somebody. You can't get an order over that. So either this cop doesn't know the law, or he's more likely doesn't want to deal with them. So he's like, just go to court and embarrass yourself there. I don't want to deal with you.
Which would, if he does it again, like the fourth time, it would be arrestable. So you would need 3 instances.
The fourth time would be arrestable. I don't think. Hold on.
If he does it again, like the fourth time, it would be arrestable. So you would.
The fourth time. So he's saying there, get 3 instances of harassment, get an order, and then the next time we'll arrest them. He's just giving them a way to try to lock people up for lawful behavior here. That's all this is. But of course, that's not how it works.
We need 3 instances.
Exactly. Turtle Cadet is a former cop in Norfolk County himself. He knows that's completely untrue. That's not how this works.
You can go on public ways, and there's nothing we can do about him going on the public ways.
Yeah, it's a public.
I don't know what the elements of stalking are off the top of my head. I will have to look. That's what I do is I'll check what stalking is. But like for right now,
oh my God, Chris wanted him charged with stalking. Stalking.
I would imagine, what this was over the course of 30 minutes probably would not constitute stalking. Now as it continues, that would you're getting more and more. And we'll document. As far as figuring out who he was.
Okay.
You're arming yourself with knowledge.
Yeah. Okay. Wait. Listen to this.
For our reports and see if see like that's how you can figure out who he is. Just so you're arming yourself with knowledge.
Yeah. Okay. You're arming yourself with knowledge. He tells Chris.
What I do here is I usually leave my body camera in here. So I put this down. I'm gonna leave it in here just so like your private conversation isn't obviously private. There's also cameras in there. Yeah. So I'll go talk to the supervisor. I will look at the stalking elements. So I'll educate you. So you guys are armed with knowledge because you should really. And here's a tip I tell people for everything. Any crime you're wondering, what do I need to prove this? Google stalking Massachusetts jury instructions. If you want to do it right now, I'll help you. It comes with the elements and like little footnotes, and that's how the courts instruct the jury on how they need to deliberate. Yeah. So you're going to have everything the jury would have. Yeah. So you are armed with that knowledge, and you can articulate even better to us. Like this is what happened. We read them and we try to suss that information out. But we're not mind readers. Yeah. So if you can think of something that goes, he did X, which is the second element. Yeah. Right. So the jury instructions are all public. They're public PDFs. Yeah.
So let's go check out. So Chris wanted this guy charged with stalking, and let's go check out what's stalking. Oh, this is it. Okay. It says here, you have to prove the defendant guilty of this offense. The Commonwealth must prove 6 things: that the defendant committed at least 3 separate acts, that they intended to target Colin Albert with each act, which they can't do, that the defendant committed each act willfully and maliciously. I'm not sure what the act is. Looking at somebody is an act. Okay. That the acts taken as a whole seriously alarmed the victim. So again, I guess all Colin Albert has to say is I was seriously alarmed. That the acts taken as a whole would cause a reasonable person to suffer substantial emotional distress. It's so reasonable, right? And this is the hard part, that the defendant threatened Colin Albert with the intention of placing Colin Albert in imminent fear of death or bodily injury, and that Colin Albert's fear was reasonable. Okay. So good luck with that. That's the stalking statute. O'Brien versus Borowski seems to be the background of that.
I'll go talk to the supervisor. And
he has to go to work, so.
Do you want to wait 2 minutes?
Yeah. No, that's fine. Yeah, no worries. I didn't know you were. Yeah.
So they agreed with me. It's not stalking yet. Yeah. And here is, I printed it out for you. And don't ever feel like you're troubling us or anything like that. If you feel unsafe, we'll always come out. Make sure you're all right. Take a report from you because
you're all right.
If you guys want to go ahead, I'm going to swing around so we can all read this together. This is what they would read to the jury. The defendant committed at least 3 separate acts, and so the key to all of this, guys, would be documenting.
Yeah.
Because if we don't document, it's more difficult to prove.
Yeah.
And I believe somewhere in there it says there has to be a threat too. But if they threaten you once and they follow you, that satisfies the act, the 3 separate acts. So what you have there is the 5 elements.
Yep.
Or wait, it's 6 elements.
Yep.
And then to prove, each element,
yeah.
and then there's notes on everything.
Yeah.
So you guys are armed with knowledge now. Right. So you guys know what to look out for. And please, if you guys feel unsafe, call us so we can document these. Because as you can see by the first element, it's multiple.
If you feel unsafe, what pussies? I hope these people know what pussies they are moving forward. Jesus Christ. They ran crying to the cops. I need protection. Have you guys ever seen Tommy Matson? It's like, if you're scared of that guy, Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ.
Before, did, but he was holding it up, and somebody asked, "Can I help you?" He said no, and it's a public building, so we let him walk. We let him walk around. I don't know where he went, what he did, but apparently he was just filming the building, which has happened before. Yeah. But that's the way. That's the game plan. I would say document. Don't be afraid to call, and because it's.
I don't know why so much of this is redacted.
You all for watching. Please remember to.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So that's how Chris Albert spent his day. All right. Cool. Let's see. You know what else I watched the other day? So opening statements are coming up, and I rewatched David Yanetti's opening statement, and I wanted to see what could they do differently this time. So let me bring this up real quick.
I don't know if he was missing or hurt or in trouble. And that means that somebody else. Karen Reed was framed.
Karen Reed was framed.
Her car never struck John O'Keefe. She did not cause his death. And that means that somebody else did.
So I know he started off with Karen Reed was framed. And I said that the first thing they need to say is John O'Keefe was not hit by a car. And that's the second thing he said. So, I went into this thinking okay, they need to change up their approach a little bit, talk about reasonable doubt and the focus on the fact that John O'Keefe was not hit by a car. And that's exactly what he did. So I don't know what he can do differently.
No accident that John O'Keefe was found dead on the front lawn of 34 Fairview Road in Canton on January 29th of 2022. You will learn that at that address lived a well-known and well-connected law enforcement family in Canton, the Alberts. Because the Alberts were involved, and because they had close connections to the investigators in this case, Karen Reed was framed for a murder she did not commit. Good morning again, ladies and gentlemen. As I previously told you, my name is David Yannetti. I'm an attorney with an. From a very early juncture in this case, you will question the Commonwealth's theory of the case. You will question the quality of the Commonwealth's evidence. You will question the veracity of the Commonwealth's witnesses. And you will question their shoddy and biased investigation, a faulty investigation that led to Karen Reed sitting here today. You will learn, in short, that the police did no real investigation of this case, and you will question why. You'll question why the investigators had such tunnel vision. You'll question why they focused solely on Karen Reed, someone with no ties to the Canton Police Department, as opposed to the well-known and well-connected Albert family of Canton, a family that was never treated as suspects by the investigators in this case. Boston police officer.
I don't know how else he could change that. It's I don't know. A lot of people say that you guys should focus less on the conspiracy and more on this, reasonable. Okay, fine. But I'm not hearing anything crazy here. I'm just hearing that the police didn't investigate this properly because Brian Albert's a well-connected person. I mean, what else is he supposed to say? I don't get it. I don't know how you do it differently, to be perfectly honest with you.
John O'Keefe was found mortally injured on Brian Albert's front lawn.
Yeah.
His body was in full view and almost right below Brian Albert's bedroom window on his front lawn. He was found wearing only one sneaker. You'll learn that Brian Albert was a Boston police officer as well, and that he was a trained first responder. Brian Albert was notified that another police officer was injured and unresponsive on his front lawn, and Brian Albert did nothing. His sister-in-law, Jennifer McCabe, and other civilians were on his property that morning after John O'Keefe's body was found. Police, EMTs, firefighters, police cruisers, and ambulance, fire truck, lights flashing. And first responder Brian Albert never came out of his house. Equally important for you will be the fact that the lead homicide investigators never went inside the Albert home that night. You'll learn that Brian Albert's brother, Kevin Albert, is a Canton police officer. It was obvious very early on that the Canton police should not be investigating the death of a man found on the property of the brother of a Canton police officer. So it was decided just about from the start that the Massachusetts State Police should take complete control of this investigation because the Canton police were conflicted out. Now, that sounded good at the time, but you'll learn that two major problems arose. First, despite the fact that they obviously had a conflict of interest, the evidence will show that the Canton police still had their hands in this investigation. You will find it astounding. But Canton police officer Kevin Albert, the reason for the conflict of interest in the first place, was continually updated about the status of this investigation while it was going on. Second, and equally troubling, is that the lead state police detective who was assigned to this case was a man named Michael Proctor. Michael Proctor, you will learn, is one of the many people in Canton with deep ties to the Albert family. Michael Proctor's own mother refers to the Alberts as the Proctor's second family.
Like, that's good. I mean, all this needs to be met. Like, again, I watched this today thinking that I was going to have some critique for it, but I don't know what the fuck else he could say differently. It's like, this is all very important. Michael Proctor's own, that's powerful. Like, that resonates with the jury. Like, the lead detective's mother calls them a second family. I'm not sure if they ever introduced that screenshot or if they were even allowed to introduce that into evidence in the trial, but Michael Proctor's mom called, and I found that one. I'd like to be very clear. That's my journalism that found that one. They didn't have that one. But them calling the Alberts a second family is like, that's big.
His own sister's wedding. Michael Proctor was in the wedding party with Colin Albert, and he sat at the head table of that wedding with members of the Albert family. That's the man who was chosen to lead the investigation into the suspicious death on the property of Brian Albert. That's the man who gave updates to Canton police officer Kevin Albert while the state police were supposed to be investigating what had occurred at his brother Brian Albert's house. You'll learn that right from the jump, Michael Proctor predetermined the outcome of this case. Never stepped foot inside the Albert home on January 29th, 2022. Never checked out whether there were any signs of struggle inside that home. He never called the crime scene technicians and other specialists to look for blood or other trace evidence within the home. He never asked Brian Albert for permission to go in the home and take a look around. Michael Proctor never applied for a search warrant to go in that home. Instead, he focused immediately and exclusively on Karen Reed, the outsider. You will learn that no one in the Proctor family has ever called the Reed family their second family.
No, they didn't.
No one in the Proctor family had been in a wedding party with anyone from the Reed family. Karen Reed was a convenient outsider. She was most definitely not from Canton. So how did Michael Proctor feel about her?
I don't know.
How did he treat somebody he was investigating at a point in time when he should have been keeping an open mind, focusing on obtaining all possible evidence so that he didn't miss anything? Well, you will learn that on the very day that John O'Keefe was found dead on Brian Albert's lawn, Michael Proctor was texting with his high school buddies about this supposedly secret investigation using his personal cell phone. He was revealing information about this investigation to his friends, assuming that nobody would ever find out what he was doing and what he was saying. And he was revealing his true thoughts about Karen Reed to his friends, not what he put in his sanitized police reports, his true feelings to his friends whom he trusted, and in text messages that he never thought would come into the hands of the defense in this case.
Never.
Lead investigator, Trooper Michael Proctor, right from the start, called Karen Reed names you would reserve only for your worst enemies. He told his friends that he hoped that she would kill herself. He told his friends that he had seized her cell phone. And you will learn that he knew he shouldn't have been accessing any content on her cell phone because he knew there would likely be attorney-client communications on between Karen and me at that time. He knew that he was supposed to wait for a search warrant or other permission from a judge in order to go through that phone. But you'll learn that he went through the phone anyway, without permission. And you'll know that he did because he told his high school buddies that he was searching her phone for nude photos of Karen Reed.
Nice.
He was disappointed he hadn't found any yet.
Wow.
That.
Wait, do you say
professional and unbiased?
Look at John's mom. Look at John's mom's face. Look at watch her face in case you feel sorry for this old hag. Just watch her face when he mentions the nude photos.
For nude photos of Karen Reed.
Look at that. Look at that.
Disappointed he hadn't found any.
She thinks it's funny. It's funny.
He's a professional and unbiased investigator who's
She's such a cunt. She's such a cunt. I don't care who the fuck. Oh, cry. Fuck her. Sitting there laughing about it. It's funny. Big funny to her. Nude photos of Karen. It's funny to victimize her. Peggy O'Keefe can get fucked. That's what I think of her.
Chosen to lead the investigation into the death of John O'Keefe. You will learn that one of Michael Proctor's high school friends commented to him that with a dead body on the front lawn, the homeowner in this case is surely going to catch a lot of grief. And you know what Michael Proctor's response to that was? One word. Nope.
Nope.
And he explained why. Michael Proctor assured his buddies that the homeowner would not catch a lot of grief because, quote, the homeowner's a Boston cop too.
Yep. I mean, this is
that
all.
One sentence, ladies and gentlemen, in Michael Proctor's own words, will explain a lot to you about how this investigation was conducted.
I mean, how else is he supposed to change this? I don't know. This is the most important shit. The homeowner, like, that's the crux of the case, is that you focused on Karen Reed because the other guy's a Boston cop. That's it. That's it. That's why my client's sitting here and they're about to take the witness stand because of Michael Proctor. Like that's it. That's all it comes down. I don't know how else you explain that. I guess you can keep talking about the archive. Let's go on. Let's see what else he says.
You will be able to evaluate whether Trooper Michael Proctor treated Brian Albert and his family differently because of who they are and their relationships between his family and theirs. You will evaluate whether this investigation was on the up and up. You will decide, as a result, how valuable or worthless the prosecution's DNA evidence is or is not, in light of who controlled that evidence. You will learn that Michael Proctor's fingerprints are figuratively all over this case. His fingerprints are all over the Commonwealth's evidence. You will learn that Michael Proctor showed up at Karen Reed's parents' house in Dayton to interview her during the afternoon of January 29th, only hours after John O'Keefe's body was found dead on Brian Albert's front lawn. You'll learn that Michael Proctor had her Lexus SUV towed from her parents' home. But you'll also learn that he wrote a search warrant in which he falsified the time that he took that SUV. He swore under oath that the vehicle wasn't towed until 5:30 p.m. But you'll learn that we obtained surveillance footage that he didn't know we would get. And that surveillance footage exposed that Michael Proctor's words in that sworn affidavit were a lie. Michael Proctor had that vehicle for about 90 minutes before he claimed to have taken it. And folks, you will learn that the timing is important, very important. Because when John O'Keefe was first found on Brian Albert's front lawn, the police thoroughly searched that yard for potential evidence. And it wasn't just one officer, or two, or three. There were at least 4 officers that searched that front lawn. And that morning was the beginning of a snowstorm, but there wasn't yet much snow on the ground when they were searching that lawn. It was light out by the time they did the search, and it was getting lighter.
This is like the most important shit, I think, that needs to be stressed. And I say it needs to be stressed, but it was stressed in the first trial, so I don't know what the fuck else they could do. There was no taillight on the ground at 7 a.m. It didn't exist there. Not only are we taking the Canton Police's word that it wasn't there, they filmed themselves searching. And there was no, we could all watch it. There's a fucking video of it. And there's no red taillight there. We can see that there's like 2 inches of snow tops. Gallagher's got his leaf blower out. There ain't much snow. You're not doing that with a foot of snow. There's like 2 inches of snow. I will say this, and I hope Alan Jackson's listening, because I'm a good communicator too. And you got to say to the jury, Alan, like that you love it. What Tully did with the whole I wear shorts in the winter sometimes thing. And he's like, oh, a true New Englander, I see. Exactly. Remember that. They like that shit. You tell the jury, look at you guys, you know, you're proud New Englanders. You've seen storms before. Every winter you deal with this stuff. You know, and I know that when it snows out, everything's brighter. It's beautiful, isn't it? When it snows out, it's a beautiful thing in New England. And you know, and I know that those red pieces of taillight, if they, though you saw the pieces Proctor's going to hold, they're huge. If those were sitting on 2 inches of snow You're not going to miss them, are you? Because you're New Englanders and you've been around snow before and you know what snow looks like. And just point that out to them, dude. Point it out to them.
And during that thorough search of Brian Albert's front lawn, the number of pieces of taillight that were found by a minimum of 4 officers looking for evidence was 0.
0.
It was only later in the day when the snow was really starting to accumulate that the police miraculously started to find pieces of taillight on the property. The police only started to find pieces of taillight after Michael Proctor had seized Cameron Reed's car. They only started to find pieces of taillight after Michael Proctor had possession of her taillight. You'll learn that Trooper Michael Proctor then kept going back to the Albert residence after that day, and he claims to have kept finding pieces of taillight on multiple occasions on multiple different days. And in addition, a good week after John O'Keefe's death, Canton Police Chief Kenneth Berkowitz, an older officer on the brink of retirement with probably not the best eyesight, he supposedly was driving, happened to be driving past Brian Albert's house. And by the way, Brian Albert is someone with whom Chief Berkowitz is also good friends. And this older man allegedly spotted yet another piece of taillight from his moving vehicle. This was yet another piece of taillight that was somehow missed by the trained specialist who had previously and thoroughly searched the property. Another piece of taillight that Proctor supposedly missed in the many times he went back to the property. Michael Proctor claims that he kept finding pieces of taillight right up until February 18th of 2022, which was nearly 3 weeks after John O'Keefe was found dead on Brian Albert's home. You will learn that there is no competent evidence that Karen Reed's taillight shattered at Brian Albert's property in the early morning hours of January 29th, 2022. To the contrary, you'll learn that when Karen left John at Brian Albert's house, she drove back to John's house on Meadows Ave across town in Canton. At John's home, where he lived with his 2 adopted children, Karen was drifting in and out of sleep, but she woke up for good in a panic sometime around 4 a.m. because John hadn't come home. And that was not like him at all. He had never done that before. Karen had a sinking feeling that something was wrong. Something was seriously wrong. So she got back into her Lexus and she backed up out of the garage to leave the driveway. And when she did, the right rear taillight of her Lexus struck John's parked vehicle in the driveway and her taillight cracked. That was the same taillight that the prosecution now claims was broken outside the Albert residence hours earlier at 12:38. But we have video evidence that the taillight was actually broken at 5 a.m., many hours after the prosecution needs that taillight to have been broken.
I don't know. Again, I don't know how else he could possibly explain it. This is it. This is everything he's saying has to be mentioned. I thought I would watch this again and be like, well, here's what he could do differently. All this needs to be explained. He's not going into a whole conspiracy about like how he's lured into the basement and then this person tuned him up and then he's not even doing that. He's just talking about like reasonable doubt with the taillight. Like
there is, of course, no video of the taillight being broken at Brian Albert's house. You will eventually conclude that that's because the taillight was not broken there. Importantly, you will learn that there was an eyewitness who arrived at 34 Fairview after Karen got there with John O'Keefe in the early morning hours of January 29th. And that eyewitness, Brian Nagel, who's the brother of Julie Nagel, who was at the after-hours party that night. He had a clear view of Karen's SUV. Brian Nagel confirms that there was no damage to her taillight at that time. Karen was sitting in the driver's seat with her hands at 10 and 2. And Ryan Nagel confirms that while Karen was inside the car, John O'Keefe was not. John O'Keefe was also not outside the car at that time. You will ultimately conclude there's only one other place he could have been. Now, going back to that 5 a.m. video from John's driveway, you will see Karen back up her Lexus and strike John's car at about 5 a.m. when she was leaving John's house to go out to look for him. And you will know that she struck his car at 5 a.m. because you will watch that video closely. You will witness that the wheels and the hubcaps on John's car are jostled and moved by Karen's SUV. And you will conclude that that video depicts exactly when Karen's taillight was cracked, long after she dropped off John that night at 34 Fairview. And you will learn that part of the reason that Karen's Lexus hit John's car was that Karen was panicked at that time. Where is John? Why didn't he come home? What happened to him? And you will learn that she was racking her brain for what possibly could have happened. And like many of us, was worried about the worst. Did I hit him? Could I have hit him? That was what she was saying, both to herself and to other people later that morning when she went back to 34 Fairview. She couldn't think of anything else that made sense. She certainly didn't consider in a million years that someone from within the Albert home could have beaten up John and left him to die on the front lawn. Now, that was over 2 years ago. Karen didn't know then what you will learn during this trial. Karen didn't know that Brian Albert's sister-in-law, Jennifer McCabe, left the after-hours party at Brian Albert's house sometime after Karen pulled away. She didn't know that after Jennifer McCabe dropped off some people elsewhere, she returned to her own home. Karen didn't know that Jennifer McCabe climbed some stairs in her home and eventually made it into her bedroom with her cell phone. Karen didn't know that Jennifer McCabe settled in at 2:27 in the morning on January 29, 2022, and typed a Google search that she would later delete. 2:27 in the morning was over 3 hours before John O'Keefe's body was found on Brian Albert's lawn. 2:27 was over 3 hours before anyone knew or suspected that John O'Keefe was missing or hurt or in trouble. And at 2:27 in the morning, you will learn that with no one watching her, thinking she was alone with her thoughts, and not worrying that anyone would know what she was doing, Jennifer McCabe typed in the following Google search: how long to die in the cold? Now, she misspelled the first word, so the actual search was how long to die in the cold, but you'll get the point. You will ask yourself, why would somebody Google how long does it take for someone to die in the cold, unless that person knew someone who either was in that situation or would be in that situation?
All right, so this is all important, but maybe knowing what we know now, the big thing with the jury is they have to understand what reasonable doubt is. So just point over and over again, that's reasonable doubt. This is reasonable doubt. If you think it's odd that someone would Google that at 2:27, then it's reasonable doubt. You're definitely reasonable if you have doubts about Karen Reed's guilt. That's reasonable doubt.
You will question during this trial, who was it who actually did die in the cold at some point that night, sometime after Jen McCabe was asking Google for an answer to her question. And you'll learn that the answer to that question was John O'Keefe. The medical examiner in this case will testify that one of the causes of John O'Keefe's death was hypothermia. John O'Keefe died in part because he was left to die in the cold. Now, the Commonwealth will try to dispute the timing of that Google search. They'll try to claim that there were only 2 Google searches at 6:23 and 6:24 a.m. after John's body was found. But one problem for the Commonwealth will be that we have retained Richard Green, one of the leading computer forensic experts in the country. Rick Green has forensically analyzed Jennifer McCabe's phone, both manually and using every appropriate type of computer software to solve this issue. Rick Green will confirm for you that Jennifer McCabe did indeed make that search at 2:27 a.m. And another problem for the Commonwealth is that you will hear and see other evidence that will confirm that Jennifer McCabe is lying when she denies making that Google search.
So what I like about the defense strategy about this time is they're not telling shit. Karen Reed's not telling me anything. She's learned. Because what I'm counting on in this trial is there's a whole bunch of shit that hasn't been made public yet. They don't want to show their hand to Hank Brennan. I don't know why the defense hired Holly Price. I don't know what she does because I don't talk to Karen Reed as much as I used to before. And she doesn't give me the tea that she used to give. And that's smart. Well, because if I blabbed about it, if I let it loose, if I accidentally let something out, they listen to everything I say. And they're going to take, and if Hank Brennan, let's suppose this Holly Price person it works for Google, right? Let's suppose she says that oh yeah, she confirms that it happened. Right? They don't want to tip that to Hank. They don't want to give Spanky time to come up with some bullshit way to discredit this woman. So it's better this way. Let it all. So they'll announce, that's why I'm looking forward to opening statements. They're going to announce some shit. They kind of let it all out. They're going to tell you what this new medical examiner is going to tell the jury. They're going to tell you what Garrett Wing's going to say, all this shit. They're going to tell you this shit. And keep in mind, during the opening statements in this trial, they went into this trial without a medical doctor who was going to, actually they had Frank Sheridan was the one that was going to talk about the dog bites. Marie Russell was not, they didn't know who Marie Russell was during this. So, and Marie Russell is as solid as you get when it comes to being an expert on dog bites.
At 2:27 a.m. You will conclude that before she went to bed, if she went to bed that night, Jennifer McCabe wanted to know just how long it would take for someone to die in the cold. And a big question in this trial for you will be, when was John O'Keefe left to die in the cold? I expect the Commonwealth will try to persuade you that he was left there sometime around 12:30 a.m. because they're going to try to prove to you that Karen Reed hit him and that his body stayed there the entire night until first responders arrived at 6 a.m. and his body was taken to the hospital. But you will learn that there are big problems with the Commonwealth's theory of this case. You will learn that there were 6 people at that after-hours party at Brian Albert's house, all of whom left by the front door and would have been confronted by John O'Keefe's lifeless body on that lawn if he was actually there at that time. Those 6 people walked out the front door at 34 Fairview, walked to their cars, either in the driveway or parked in front of the house. Brian Albert's sister-in-law, Jennifer McCabe, was there. Her husband, Matthew McCabe, was there. ATF federal agent Brian Higgins was there, who was also Brian Albert's friend. Sarah Levinson, a friend of Brian Albert Jr., was there. Julie Nagel, another friend of Brian Albert Jr., was there. And Caitlin Albert, Brian Albert's daughter, was also there. All of them.
And Tristan Morris. He doesn't mention Tristan Morris, too, is another one. 3 drivers, Tristan Morris, Brian Higgins, and Matt McCabe, all drive by, and they can't say I was turning around talking about peanut butter sandwiches because they're driving, and none of them saw the body. None of them did. Come on.
Them leaving the residence. Each of those people left 34 Fairview in Canton, where Brian Albert lived. Each of them walked out facing the front lawn, where the Commonwealth will tell you that a 6'2", nearly 220-pound big man in dark clothing was sprawled on the front lawn when there was only a dusting of white snow on the ground. He was supposedly sprawled on that lawn, just feet from where these people were walking when they left the residence. And you will learn that not one of these people saw John O'Keefe laying. Not one. And you know who else saw no one laying outside in the early morning hours of January 29th? The snowplow driver in charge of plowing the street
him.
For the city of Canton. And this is another big problem for the Commonwealth. You will learn that Michael Proctor, here's that name again, wrote a report where he claimed that the DPW supervisor had told him that Fairview Road had not been plowed that night. Proctor's total investigation on this issue consisted of one phone call and no follow-up. He just submitted his report that simply said the road hadn't been plowed that night, perhaps thinking that no one else would follow up either. But you'll learn that when it came to finding out the truth, it's not that Proctor couldn't find the truth, it's that he wouldn't. But fortunately, you'll learn that we would, and we did. You'll learn that within weeks after January 29th, we sent our investigator, a former Medford police officer named Paul McCuskey, to the Canton DPW to try and get to the bottom of this. Paul McCuskey talked to the same supervisor at the DPW, a man named Michael Trotta, whom Proctor claimed had told him that the street hadn't been plowed that night. You'll learn that Paul McCuskey found out that Michael Proctor was not telling the truth. You'll learn that Michael Trotta from the DPW told Paul McCuskey, our investigator, that the street was indeed plowed that night, and that the name of the plow driver was Brian Laughlin. So Paul McCuskey tracked down Brian Laughlin. He asked Mr. Laughlin if the state police or any investigators had ever spoken to him. And the answer came back, no.
Wow.
You will then learn what Brian Laughlin had to say about what he saw and didn't see that night, and you will be shocked. Brian Laughlin told Paul McCuskey that he was driving a big snowplow in Canton that night. You'll learn that the nickname for it at the DPW was Frankenstein, because it had a lot of spare parts and it had been around forever. Brian Laughlin told Paul McCuskey that when he plows the streets of Canton in Frankenstein, he's very careful. He makes sure to check not only the roads in front of him, but also the yards to the side of his plow. He makes sure not to hit a fire hydrant or a tree or an animal, or heaven forbid, a person lying in the snow.
God forbid.
No,
God forbid an
You'll
animal.
learn that Brian Laughlin passed by 34 Fairview on his plow, traveling right by Brian Albert's front lawn at 2:30 in the morning. You'll learn that Brian Laughlin confirms that at about 2:30, when he went by that house, John O'Keefe was not on that front lawn. So you'll learn that about 2 hours after the Commonwealth claims that Karen Reed somehow incapacitated John O'Keefe, an eyewitness confirms that not only could it not have happened, but it didn't happen. But you'll learn that Brian Laughlin also provides some other troubling testimony for the Commonwealth. You'll learn that after making that pass at 2:30 in the morning and seeing no body, he showed up again at the entrance to Fairview Road, intending to make another pass down it with his plow. This time, however, at about 3:30 in the morning, he looked down the street and he saw that parked right next to Brian Albert's front lawn, right in the very area where John O'Keefe's body was later found at 6 a.m., Brian Laughlin saw a Ford Edge parked on the side of the road.
Oh boy.
You will learn that the police have done zero investigation to discover whose Ford Edge that was. You'll learn that members of the Albert family drove Ford Edges. You'll learn that the police to this day claim not to know who was parked right next to the area where John O'Keefe's body was later found. You will learn that while investigators on this case, including Michael Proctor, completely ignored the snowplow driver who went right by the Albert residence, the defense not only tracked him down and interviewed him, but the plow driver actually took our investigator on a ride back past the residence to explain the precise route that he had taken on January 29th. You'll learn that some other curious things were going on in the early morning hours.
Yeah, it's like all of this is fucking, I don't know what else you could say. I really don't. I guess he could just keep hammering. Like, if that's reasonable doubt, you have an eyewitness who says there wasn't a body there. And if the eyewitness tells you there's not a body there, you have reason to doubt. It is perfectly reasonable to doubt whether or not Karen ran him over at 12:30, because this guy should have seen a body there. So that's reasonable doubt. This guy's testimony alone is reasonable doubt.
January 29th. Curious things that the police in this case utterly failed to investigate. For example, after people left the after-hours party at Brian Albert's house on January 29th, Brian Albert claimed that he had no contact with anyone but his wife until he was woken up in the morning. But you will learn that he was ultimately confronted by the fact that his phone records revealed that he had actually placed a phone call to ATF agent Brian Higgins, his friend. the same friend who had been at his house earlier that night. And that was at 2:22 in the morning. You'll learn that Brian Higgins called him back 17 seconds later, and they connected 22 seconds on their cell phones. You'll be asked to consider just how long 22 seconds is and what could be said and discussed during that long of a phone call. You will consider that phone call in the context of the other curious things that were going on during the early morning hours of January 29th. You will learn about the following in chronological order. 2:12 a.m., Jennifer McCabe arrives at her home. 2:22 a.m., Brian Albert calls Brian Higgins. 2:22 a.m., 17 seconds later, Higgins calls him back. And Brian Albert and Brian Higgins are on the phone together for 22 seconds. 2:23 a.m., Jennifer McCabe climbs the stairs to her bedroom. 2:27 a.m., Jennifer McCabe searches on Google how long to die in the cold. 2:30 a.m., cloud driver Brian Laughlin confirms there was no body on Brian Albert's front lawn. 3:30 a.m., Brian Laughlin confirms that a Ford Edge was parked right where John O'Keefe's body was later found. The Commonwealth will not be able to successfully dispute any of those facts, yet I expect that they will persist in asking you to convict Kearney Reed anyway. You will learn that there are other major problems with the Commonwealth's theory. You'll learn that when John O'Keefe was found, he did not look like he had been hit by a car.
No, he didn't.
You'll learn that he looked to have been attacked and beaten up. You'll learn that John O'Keefe was a large 6'2" man who, if positioned behind a Lexus SUV, would have had his torso completely exposed to the rear of that vehicle, including to the taillight. You'll learn that no part of his torso was injured. There was no bruising, no ridges, no scratches, no punctures. You'll learn that his chest and hips and legs were pristine, despite the Commonwealth's contention that he was hit by a 6,000-pound vehicle. The evidence will show that what was not pristine was his right arm. You will take one look at that arm, and you will conclude that a car did not cause those injuries.
Yeah.
The injuries to John O'Keefe's arm appear to be consistent with scratch marks and claw marks, marks that make it look as though an animal had attacked his arm. But you won't have to rely
Look at Peggy.
just on your comments.
Look at her. She's nodding. Watch her nod. Watch her
You'll hear
nod.
from an expert consistent with scratch marks and claw marks.
Watch her nod. Watch her
marks that
nod.
Make it look as though an animal had attacked his arm.
Look at her.
But you won't have to rely
See that?
just on your common sense when
See
you
that?
look at those photos.
I mean, that should not be allowed. That should not be allowed for Peggy O'Keefe to sit there, and there can't be any fucking facial reactions or no crying, none of that shit. You can't, like, this biases the jury. You're looking directly at them. Can't have that. That's fucking bullshit. Sorry. That should not be allowed at all. You can't be like the mom, the victim's mother is sitting there saying, no, this guy is not telling the truth. It's fucking bullshit.
We'll hear from an expert forensic pathologist who is world-renowned, who has personally conducted thousands of autopsies. And he will testify that those marks are consistent with scratch and claw marks and bite marks from an animal, including a German Shepherd. You'll learn that on January 29th of 2022, Brian Albert's family dog, Chloe, was a German Shepherd. You'll learn that Brian Albert has admitted that this dog is not good around strangers. You'll learn that on January 29th of 2022, John O'Keefe would have been a stranger to that dog. And you'll learn that Chloe had been the beloved family dog for the Alberts for 7 years. The Albert family loved Chloe. And strangely, as we discuss this dog today, the Albert family doesn't have its beloved Chloe anymore. You'll learn that Brian Albert was called to testify before the grand jury regarding this matter in April of 2022, and that he did testify about his German Shepherd Chloe during that grand jury testimony. And you'll learn that not long after that testimony, Brian Albert and his family rehomed their beloved family dog. They gave away their family dog, and Chloe, the German Shepherd, is therefore now gone. Now, the Commonwealth will try to take your attention away from all of these troubling facts and try to persuade you not to consider their shocking lack of investigation of anyone else, not to consider John O'Keefe's injuries, not to consider the fact that multiple people left the residence and saw no body, not to consider the fact that the snowplow driver was specifically looking at 2:30 a.m. and there was no body there, not to consider the fact that 2 people in the house were communicating at 2:22 a.m. but denied speaking to each other for 22 seconds, and not to consider the fact that one of their witnesses who was also present at the home was unusually curious at 2:27 a.m. about how long it would take for someone to die in the cold. The Commonwealth will instead try to persuade you that Karen Reed supposedly had a motive to kill John O'Keefe because they were not getting along. You'll hear about their trip to Aruba over New Year's Eve and that Karen was upset that John had been flirting with another woman. And you will hear that Karen considered exploring her options after that trip, which led her to a get-together at one point with ATF federal agent Brian Higgins, although that never went anywhere. But you'll also hear that in January of 2022, after the Aruba trip, and not long before January 28th and 29th, John O'Keefe was making long-term plans with Karen, including a family trip with her and the kids. And also,
so one thing they definitely need to be able to shut down is the 24 miles an hour thing. Like, that seems to be the thing that stuck with Ronnie and them, is the 20. Like, they have to be able to explain why that's bullshit. 24 miles an hour reverse did not happen ever. I wish they could explain and just tell them, just get in your car and try driving 24 miles an hour reverse. Try to hit a stationary object going 24 miles an hour reverse exclusively in the arm. Try to do that for me, please. Like, just give it a shot. Do you understand how fucking impossible that is? Like, come on, bro. That obviously didn't happen. It's absurd. Absurd. And by the way, they had this whole 3-point turn theory for a while. They're not going to present that in court, but that was what they said for like 18 months until they abruptly changed it to 24 miles an hour in reverse. Come on. I know. Play the video. Seriously.
Another trip with Karen and another couple for months into the future. And you'll see video of how John and Karen were interacting on the night in question. You'll see for yourself how they looked at each other from the video at the waterfall that night. Nobody who saw them that night saw anything wrong. There was nothing wrong. I mean, like any couples, occasionally they would bicker or disagree, but you will hear zero evidence of any domestic violence in that home whatsoever. John never raised a hand in anger toward Karen, and Karen never raised a hand in anger toward John. That simply wasn't who they are. You will conclude the notion that Karen Reed chose the start of a snowstorm to suddenly become violent out of the blue for the first time and intentionally kill her boyfriend by hitting him with a car and leaving him there with a house full of people inside is patently ridiculous. You will also learn that what's not ridiculous is that someone, not Karen Reed, ambushed John O'Keefe. Somebody probably didn't mean to kill him, but somebody went too far. You'll learn that Trooper Proctor failed to investigate motives that other people had to harm John O'Keefe. You'll learn that Proctor failed to investigate anything or anyone who was in the Albert residence that night. You'll learn that he failed to investigate the antagonistic relationship between members of the Albert family and John O'Keefe. You'll learn that apparently nobody investigates the Albert family of Canton. Remember, on day one, Trooper Proctor was asked whether the homeowner, Colin Albert, would catch a lot of grief. And Trooper Proctor himself said, nope. Homeowner is a Boston cop.
I know, he did. He did.
So, folks, the trial is now about to start, and the witnesses are about to start testifying. On behalf of Karen Reed, I ask that you do two things during this trial. First, I ask that you pay attention to all of the evidence. The way trials work, the prosecution gets to present its case first. They conduct their direct examinations first. So we respectfully ask that you wait for us. We will get to cross-examine their witnesses, and you will find that cross-examination is the key that unlocks the truth. Wait for us. You'll be glad that you did. Second, I ask that you keep your eye on the ball. You have one job and one job only to do during this trial, and that job, quite frankly, is not to solve this case. Your only job during this trial is to determine whether the Commonwealth, the prosecution, has proven to you each and every element of the crimes they have charged, beyond a reasonable doubt, to a moral certainty. The prosecution will fail to prove this case to a moral certainty. They will fail to prove this case beyond a reasonable doubt. You will reasonably doubt their case because their theory of the case does not make sense.
So, yes, he finally mentions reasonable doubt right at the end, but he doesn't explain what reasonable doubt is. Like, that, I think, should be mentioned and strengthened in the first one. Like, establish what your job is here. You're about to be here for the next 10 weeks, okay? And you, the whole time, you need to be thinking, are they proving to me beyond a reasonable doubt that Karen Reed hit John O'Keefe with the car? Is it beyond dispute? Have they shown that to me? Is there anything the defense can say that is, causes me to reasonably doubt whether or not this is true? Like, just, I think that needs to be stressed, but that's just me.
You will reasonably doubt their case because Karen Reed was framed, and the evidence shows that, despite the fact that the police never ever investigated that angle of this case at all. Because the prosecution will not prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt to a moral certainty, we will stand before you again at the end of this trial and ask that you find Karen Reed not guilty.
Oh, by the way, that I saw that. Where'd it go? I just had a thing on there that appeared.
You will reasonably police never ever investigate and ask that you find
this one. This chick.
All right, go and have a seat to my
Woodcock.
She wouldn't even.
So in the Lori Vallow trial, which is another thing I could get into. Maybe I will. I went to go check her out. She follows me on Twitter. I got to get her on the show. This is Charles Vallow's sister. He's the victim that Lori Vallow killed, like one of many. That chick is fucking. Have you guys seen the Dateline interview with Keith? What's his face there? Keith Morrison. That chick is nutso. Not as crazy as the one that attacks her lawyers all the time. That chick's even crazier. Chopped her boyfriend's head off. But Lori Vallow, first of all, I think she's faking it. All this Jesus stuff about how, oh, she's doing this whole thing about like, oh, like she's acting like a crazy person. Like I'm in a, like Jesus is coming and that Jesus talks to me and blah, blah, blah. And that Jesus told me that the kids are zombies and blah, 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 blah. If she actually felt that way, that Jesus was telling her to do this shit and that they're possessed by zombies and blah, 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 then she would admit to killing them. Wouldn't she? Like she would admit that like, well, there's nothing wrong with what I've done because they're zombies and Jesus told me to do it. So the fact that Lori Vallow is denying killing her kids and killing this, you know what I mean? That in and of itself is proof that the whole Jesus thing that she's doing is all an act. The whole crazy thing with Lori Vallow, it's all an act. She's not really crazy. She's just evil. That's all she is. She's just evil. And she just didn't love her kids. Valued men in her life more than her own children. And would rather live her life with Chad Daybell than with her kids. That's it. That's all it comes down to. She wanted to be with him instead of the kids. So she had the kids killed. That's it. She's just a fucking monster. Like that's all there is to it. She's just evil. Evil, evil, evil. And so is Chad Daybell. Somehow these two evil people found each other. That's what's also remarkable about this whole story. That whole story is that how do these evil people find each other? Like I've never met one person that evil. And I mean, fake victim, maybe. Okay. But she hasn't killed. She didn't kill me yet. Even Krusty Panties hasn't killed me, yet. But like Lori Vallow goes around just killing people, Yeah, and her son's got a YouTube channel too. It's very interesting. I just did a deep dive in that whole case. It's fascinating. And it's like the fact that Lori Vallow is evil, but she met Chad Daybell and they just were like, yeah, let's fucking be real evil together. Let's fucking kill all these motherfuckers. Kill the kids. Well, first we're going to kill the husband. And then we're going to kill Chad Daybell's wife. And then we're going to kill the fucking kids too. Like, bro. And then they tried to kill the niece's spouse. They're killing everyone. Like, it's just crazy how these two people found each other. Like, that's remarkable. And so this whole thing with her, it's all just an act, I think. And yeah, and that's the thing. Oh, and it's a third person. And they had a hitman. Her brother, Alex, did most of the killing for them. He's just like a robot that they would just fucking turn him on. It'd be like, let's go kill a motherfucker today. Let's go kill my ex-husband. Let's kill the kids. I think he killed the kids too. And now he died of natural causes. I don't think the brother's death was suspicious. I don't think, I'm pretty sure that's not actually suspicious, her brother's death. You think they killed the brother too? You think he was like a loose end? I thought the police determined that one wasn't actually suspicious. I'm pretty sure. Which is just wild. I mean, it's just wild how many people in her, or do you think they killed him? Okay. I haven't done a deep dive. Some people saying they killed him. It wasn't suspicious. I'm hearing different things. Blah, blah, blah. I don't know. But the fact that he was like a robot, you could just turn him on and he would just kill whoever you wanted to kill. It was crazy. But she's got other siblings. She cross-examines her fucking brother on the stand and is like, how long since you ate the green chili pepper chimichangas that I made? Like, that was a question. It was just fucking wild. Fucking wild. I need to do a Lori Vallow deep dive because this case is fascinating. And she's just, crazy. And this is when the Kearney case is over. This is the kind of shit I'm going to get into because this is wild too. And I see you people are all into it. You know, I don't know if she just gave her brother drugs and made him like do crazy shit. Because the other brother, she cross-examines the other brother on the stand, and he's like, "Yeah, I don't." He seemed bothered by it. The enchiladas, yeah, the green chicken pepper enchiladas or something like. She's like, "Do you remember them?" Yeah, and then the Koberger, that's going to be in August. I'll definitely be covering that one. So I guess I'm just a true crimer now. I'm going to go and put my leather jacket on, go in the woods, and we're solving shit, guys. We're going to solve all types of shit. So, but for now, we have, the biggest one, and then the Corey Richens one, that's going to be another fascinating one. And she did it. That's the thing, is they usually did it. They usually did it, didn't they? And so I'm not one of these guys that's going to be like, yeah, it's fucking, this is a conspiracy, this blah, 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 blah. Like, Brian Koberger did it. I think that motherfucker did it. Lori Vallow definitely did it. Definitely did it. You know what I mean? Like, usually they did it. That's what makes that's what makes my involvement in this so unique, is that like, I don't usually take the position that defendants are innocent. Usually they're guilty. Oh, and then the Donald Adelson, that's another one that's going to come up. She did it too. And so did Wendy. I'm sorry. There's no fucking way that a woman's brother and mother conspire to kill the father of a woman's children without asking her first. Like, hey, is it cool if we off the father of your children? You'll be the only parent. You're going to have to watch them a lot more now. Your, responsibilities are going to increase tenfold. Is that okay with you? Instead, they want us to believe that Charlie and Donna Adelson just had Dan Markel killed. And then they're like, surprise! What'd you get me for Christmas? Oh, your ex-husband's dead. Merry Christmas, motherfucker. What? You didn't ask first? Come on. And, they're not going to rat on her. If you're Charlie Adelson, you're sitting in jail for life. He's going to continue to protect his sister. But here's the thing, and I have a problem with it, and it's just my mind thing. Like, Wendy Adelson's hot. Like I don't give a shit. Every time I look at her, I'm like, she's fucking hot. I think she's hot. Like in an evil, sexy way, kind of. You know what I mean? But like, I think she's fucking evil. And and that's the problem, is because she's good looking, she probably could just fuck with men and do evil shit her entire life. Like, she's fucking hot. I don't give a shit. Like, not just hot, like kind of sexy, but she's evil. She's fucking evil too. And so people like her can manipulate men. Like, she's got this like kinky, like, hot too. Like, she's wild, fucking crazy in the sack probably. And so she's got like, what is it? What did Wendy say? She's got this ex-boyfriend that she tried to frame. And wait, this guy too. I could do a deep dive on this guy. I forget his name. Dorky guy with glasses, and did yoga with her. Like, he's the kind of guy that gets dragged to yoga and agrees to do it. Okay. That's enough said. But she tried to get him. She tried to find out when he was going to the airport, because he was going to be driving right by Dan Markel's neighborhood at that time. And then he canceled the flight without telling her. And that's when Dan Markel was killed. And he's like, he thinks he was being set up, that like they wanted his phone to ping when he was going through that, because it would make sense if the ex-wife's new boyfriend killed the ex-husband. That would make sense, right? And you hear this guy talk, and you're like, holy, Jeff Lacasse, nice guy, but doesn't shut the fuck up. Like, he just loves to talk. This guy, he doesn't stop. And wants to talk all about the relationship. So yeah, we were on a break, but like, yeah, like, okay, I think we were back together. And we went to yoga together. It's like this guy. Oh, I see what happened here. She sucked his dick better than anything he's ever experienced in his life. And he got addicted to that. He's like, oh, and she was like, yep, now I got him. I'm going to use this stupid motherfucker. And I am going to fucking frame his ass for the fucking murder. I'm telling you right now. So that's Wendy Adelson's evil. Like, Jen McCabe is disgusting. So it's very easy. Like, she's fucking gross. You know, Wendy Adelson's hot. That's the problem. I'm just going to say it. I think she's attractive, but she's fucking evil. And there's no fucking way Wendy Adelson isn't involved in this. There's no fucking way. So, and the one who did tie her to it was the ex-boyfriend, like Jeff. He's the one that says, right, that it's just hearsay that, you know, she made comments about Charlie hiring a hitman. So there's that. Anyway, I will hopefully, I don't have time to cover it with the Karen Reed case, but hopefully, and Corey Richards is hot too. Not as hot as Wendy Adelson, but she's more like homely looking. You know what I mean? Like Corey Richards looks like, you know, she's pretty. And you know, she's a nice, pretty wife. You know, Wendy Adelson, you look at her, you're like, you're not going to make her a wife, but she'd be a good time. Like, that's what you look at her like, you know. I'm just being honest. I understand that this is like 80% women in this chat, so you can't relate to me, but it's just, I'm telling you as a guy how I look at that. So anyway, okay. Who is the hotter psycho killer? Yeah, we could do that. Anyway, yeah, Corey is like the girl next door look. That's a good way to describe her. Corey, right? Corey. Yeah. And yeah, we're going to we should talk about more true crime in here. Cause there's nothing like, I can't hear any more shit about the Karen Reed case. It's just the same shit over. Like we need to fuck, you know, we need to get back in this courtroom and fuck. We need some new content. So like in the lull, I've been going down it, you know, my algorithm feeds me this other shit. They're like, oh, you like Karen Reed? You're definitely going to like the Adelsons. Oh yeah. You like this shit? You're going to like Corey Richards. Oh yeah. You like this shit? You're going to love Lori Vallow. And then you go, oh, fucking click on that video. Oh, this is fascinating. I'm going to click on this one, blah, blah, blah. Oh, Jesus Christ. Wow. Oh, wow. Click. Oh, listen to the hitman's going to testify. Got to listen to that. Oh, wow. This is interesting. You know, so. All right, cool. Anyway, so let me read some turtle chats to end the evening here. All right, let's see what we got here. Biggle BA sends $10 and goes, any word from Colby's wife? Colby's wife? Who's Colby's wife? I don't know what you're talking about. Gabby from Drakeits. I know Colby is Lori Vallow's son, but Gabby from Drakeits sends 25 goes, hi, Daddy. I'm a new Turtle supporter, and I apologize if I was already spoken about. But since Colin isn't allowed to be considered a third-party suspect, what if he left his DNA on a soda can and someone grabbed it, tested it, and it came back as a match from the DNA found on John's clothing? I mean, I guess, I don't know how that works. According to Allie McCabe, Colin was never in the house when John was there. P.S. Krusty is a fat, disgusting pig. I don't know about that. I guess they could. I'm not sure. Maybe the chat would have a better answer than I would for that one. Next up, A-Rod sends $10 and goes, attorney Carl Steinbeck has said he has never seen a case like this. Carl Steinbeck here. He has covered every single day of the trial. He's so disgusted with the judge and Hanky. He's also disgusted with how the defense and Karen are being treated. He's enraged. I get it. I've watched Carl Steinbeck. I think he's because he's new to the case, he doesn't quite get it yet too. Like sometimes he says some stuff where I'm like, oh, he doesn't get it. You know, like when he's like, oh, they need to recuse this judge. Oh, you don't get it. You don't get it. Nah, yeah. Yeah, in an ideal world, I know you, but like this is Norfolk County. She's not getting recused. They actually filed a motion. It's not going to happen. She's going to get a raise. That's what she's going to get. She's going to get promoted because of this. Like that's how Massachusetts works. And it shouldn't be that way, but it is. And so once he hasn't quite learned yet just how corrupt and fucked up Massachusetts is, especially Norfolk County. There's 14 counties in the state, and it's always the only thing that's ever on court TV is Norfolk County. You guys notice that? It's not even the biggest county. Middlesex County is twice as big as Norfolk County. It's got Cambridge, Lowell, all types of big cities. Okay. You never see court TV in Middlesex County, do you? I've never seen a case in Middlesex County. I've never seen a Worcester County case. I saw Bristol for Aaron Hernandez. That's about it. I mean, Plymouth County, you got the Lindsay Clancy, I guess. Barnstable County, I guess the Kevin Spacey. No, that was Nantucket County. But it's just Norfolk County. It's like Tuerk, the Penny McGee, fucking Karen Reed. There's a couple others too. It's like always the Michael Chestnut. It's always Norfolk County. It's bizarre. But no, there was one, you're right, out west. I don't know if that was Berkshire County or Hampshire County. The kid that killed the person in self-defense. He found not guilty. There's that. Oh, Brian Walsh. Yeah, Norfolk County, of course. Just wild. Wild. Okay, next up. Denise sends $25 and goes, coming on live late, so I have to catch up. If you had one person a question on the stand that you could break them, who would it be and what would you say to get them to break on the stand? I would just Colin Albert would be the easiest one to break because I would just be like, so you're a big poser, right? So you're just a fake tough guy. You're not actually tough. That guy, he'd be the easiest one to break. That's my opinion. Diane sends $10, goes, hi, Turtle Boy. Yannetti's opening statement was so clear and hit all the points of a frame job. The Commonwealth started their plan on how to disillusion the jury. It's gross. I agree. Kimmy sends $5 and goes, what's your issue with Video Jesus? She doesn't shut the fuck up. I'm annoyed. I fucking find her extremely annoying. Like I've never seen a person so full of themselves than her. I just can't stand her. I cannot stand these people that center themselves in everything. Like I make a tweet yesterday about fucking this restaurant thing, right? What does she do? She fucking responds and it's like, oh, I can help them out with this. And I will offer my services for free and we will figure this out and we'll do this and we'll do Google. Bitch, shut the fuck up. Like nobody asked you. Shut the fuck up. That's what I just said to her. I go, shut the fuck up. Like it's just shut the fuck up. You talk way too fucking much. Nobody gives a fuck. You're not that special. You do promotional ads for Foxwoods for a year, and then you don't work there anymore. And it's just like she does, and she's paraded around in the free Karen Reed community. Like she's on fucking The Young Jerks. I tried watching that. I got a fucking headache. And she's brought up and paraded around like she's a fucking expert in like analyzing videos. She's not. She edits videos. Anyone can fucking do that. She doesn't have any particular skill or like, you know what I mean? She doesn't know like coding or anything like that. She's fucking a woman who loves the sound of her own fucking voice. And this person's like, wow, I hope it offends you. And I hope you get the fuck out and leave. If you're into people like her, if you're stupid enough to fall for somebody like her's bullshit, then this ain't the thing for you. Because I deal with smart people. I deal with people who see through bullshit, not with people who fall for bullshit. I expose bullshit for fucking a living. I've been doing it for years. I call out people who are lying. I did it last week with the Boozy Beauty shit. She made up a story about her being fucking followed and made the story all about fucking her. So I said something about it. Video Jesus is the same way. No, she's not fucking credible. Have you looked into her? Like, look at her fucking LinkedIn. All the shit she says she's an expert in, she's not. She's not. She's fucking full of shit. She doesn't know fucking anything. There's a reason the defense isn't hiring her at all. If she wanted to help with this whole gift card thing, with the Toscanos thing yesterday, she could just message fucking Toscanos and offer to help. But instead, she goes on my post and says, oh, I would like to offer the restaurant this. Then go fucking offer it to them. Shut the fuck up. No, you just want to be seen. You want to, I have 115,000 followers. My posts get a lot of interaction. So you respond to me, noticing that a lot of people are going to be seen. And you're like, oh, I can offer this for free. And so that all these other fucking morons, these clapping seals, or like, oh, wow, that's so generous of you, Video Jesus. Oh, yeah, you're so fucking whatever. Shut the fuck up. That's all I had to say to her. Shut the fuck up. You're obnoxious. She's fucking annoying. And she doesn't shut the fuck up. So that's my take on her. Anyway, back to this. Amanda sends $20 and goes, I believe Colin and Chris went to the police, so if they ended up hurting that guy, they'd be able to say it wasn't our fault. We even went to the police first. Then they most likely got off scot-free. Now, they went there because they've just been trained to believe that they can have anyone arrested because they don't like them. That, like, I was the testing ground for that. They got me arrested for witness intimidation. Then they got the Canton 9 charged, or tried to. And then the rubber duckies. They're just, the police are just a plaything that they use to weaponize, to go after anyone who makes them feel slightly uncomfortable. Ashley sends $10, goes, looking forward to Tuesday and the start of the trial. It might start Wednesday. I can't wait to come to Dedham on my next day off. I'm so excited to hear all the bombs Karen's team is going to be dropping. Thank you for what you do and keeping us up to date. My pleasure, Ashley. Brandon sends $10, goes, will the defense call all the neighbors on Fairview Road and explain why we haven't seen their Ring doorbell videos? Well, Kelleher is on the list, and so is the woman who lives next door in what Matt McCabe calls the Asian house. And she woke up that morning and took some pictures of the fire trucks outside. So what up with that? $10 from Nikki says, why didn't Albert go to his BFF in the state police to report this incident? Trouble in paradise? Good question, Nikki. I don't know. Colin's Missing L's sends $25 and goes, this cop is making 6 figures a year to wipe the McAlbert's noses and asses. I know. It's pathetic. $5 for Jolie and says, is the defense prepared if the Commonwealth changes their narrative to she tried to hit him and he fell? No, I don't think they're prepared for that. Also, there is a reason Jen McCabe Googled how long to die in cold. Has the defense found out an answer to that? Is that a real question? Because they're going to put him on the lawn to die. Thanks for the $5. Andrea sends $5 and goes, I told my husband about the Toscana thing today and my great review. I left. And while he agreed they were being bullied and they were awesome to change their minds after your phone call, he told me I'm in an actual cult. I laughed and said, I'm so proud. If he gets a giant cult house, I'll go there to live too. Well, it's a sex cult, in fairness. It's not a regular cult. There's sex involved too. So there's that. So thank you. Girl on her period sends $5 and goes, I heard on some channels the following and want your thoughts that there was a radio transmission on the Canton snowplow at 4-ish of a man lying on 34 Fairview. Okay. No, just no. No. I am just shutting that down right now. Thank you for the $5. That is bullshit. Thank you. Thanks for asking. Next. $25 from Kim says, Turtle Boy, you rock. Thanks for your support on the North Shore fundraiser. Well, thank you guys for putting it on. Thank you. Intoxicated bitch sends $5 and goes, since so much corruption has occurred on this case, it seems to not be a problem. Do you think that the new jurors would lie on some of the questions from Auntie Bev just to participate and could be anti-Karens? Shit happens with all these people on Norfolk. Yes, but the same goes for the other way around. So people who would lie because they believe Karen's innocent to get on. And I think that's just as likely to occur. Ron and Kerry sends $10 and goes, hey, Doc, massive respect for how you handled the Toscana situation. Absolutely perfect. P.S. That's a nasty cough. Can't be smoking that shit at work. Feel better, brother. I've had worse. Annie sends $10, goes, where is the Stanley? It's right here. Right here. Thank you. M. Rennie sends $18 and goes, here is the first ever turtle chat where someone inserts a Karen Reed theory that blows the case open. Now, please get all excited and impressed and tell everyone to give me a high five and contact Karen Stat. This is the only time this happens. Now everyone else can stop. That's good. Thank you. Helen sends $5 and goes, how does the Commonwealth explain the pig DNA? I don't know. Maybe Michael Proctor touched it and he's a pig. So there's that. Thank you. Kevin sends $10 and goes, what's the over under on whether Julie Albert says Trooper Bukaki while on the stand testifying? They got to get it to. I think odds are low this time because of, what a disaster it was last time, but wouldn't that be fun? FL Kim sends $10 and goes, I think Katie McLaughlin being listed to Canton Fire Department, the only employer's name worded that way, is because the rumors of her moving away is their way of protecting her new town of being exposed. It's interesting if true. Okay. Brennan on 75 sends $5 and goes, for a case of water for all my defense experts who will sit and testify because they do get dry mouth. True. Nicole sends $10 and goes, sorry if it was already talked about, but Melanie DeLittle did a live last night replaying the Dr. Stonebridge testimony. I forgot she was never crossed by the defense. Hopefully they will this time around. Yes, very true. I watched part of that with Nurse Kim. It's a long one, so I got a little more time to listen to the whole thing. Thank you. Rodo sends $5 and goes, with every word, will every word both cases KP involved with be impeached based on admitted proven lies about Karen Reed and Turtle Boy? I have no idea what that means. Thanks for the $5. Robin sends $10 and goes, did YouTube ever give you your 100,000 follower plaque? Oh, no, they haven't yet. I have to apply. Thank you. And when's my next hearing? April 30th is my next hearing. And we're still waiting to hear on the motion to dismiss. I don't know what time that's going to happen. So hopefully we find out soon. The turtle, sends $10 and goes, sorry, dude, I got too comfortable. I'll keep it short from now on, Brother Tortoise. Well, thank you. And no offense taken. Just like to keep it short. You know what I mean? Thanks, Turtle. Sherry sends $5 and goes, maybe I've never heard an explanation on this. Go easy on me, Turtle Boy. But if John was so incessant about shoes off in the house, then he would have taken it off at 34 Fairview, where his socks retained and tested for Chloe's hair. No, they did not test it for Chloe's hair. And I don't think he took his shoes off in the house. Thank you. Because he still had one shoe on. Katie sends $10 and goes, I can't stand not knowing what a possible motive could be. Why did the McAlberts invite John to a fight? Did he tell Brian Higgins to let off his girlfriend because he's got a little dick anyway? I'm sure they didn't invite him there to get in a fight. They didn't tell him that, at least. But he walked into an ambush. Jen Pull Up Bitch sends $5 and goes, Jen, did you do the Google search and delete it because you saw John in the lawn that night and left him to die, or because you knew he was going to be put out there after 3 a.m.? I don't know what I'm supposed to do with that, but the answer is the latter. Katie sends $10, goes, listening from Anna Maria Island. Shout out to Kelly for taking her first plane ride. Colin did it. We love you, Doc, Katie, Melissa, and Kelly. Well, thank you very much. V. Sanchez sends $5 and goes, why don't they summon all text messages? The phone carriers have all those saved for 10 years. Okay, I'm just going to stop reading this because that's what a Rule 17 hearing is for, and they've had many of them and they failed. So thank you for that, V. Sanchez. Wallace sends $10 and goes, genuinely hope when this is all over, there's a Pulitzer hanging on your wall. I think I read that one already. Thank you very much. $5 from Kim Jong Kanoni says, ever since we have face no, I already read that one. Let me refresh this. Helen sends $10 and goes, let's try this one more time. Question. What is the Commonwealth's explanation for the pig DNA? Your opinion, please. The pig DNA? Oh, John got bacon grease on his fucking pants. I don't fucking know. There's a million ways pig DNA can get on there besides a dog, so I don't think the pig DNA stuff is proves much at all, to be perfectly honest with you. Nicholas sends $10, goes, what are the McAlberts going to learn? When are they going to learn what the hell constitutes a crime? I guess when you're babied your whole life, this is I know this is the result. They've gone to the police a million times over this harassment thing, and nothing sticks except with me. It's like what they need to understand is it only works on me. Because I'm me. I'm the one that the Commonwealth wants to shut up. Michael Morrissey doesn't give a shit about Tommy Mattson, so he's not going to charge him with anything. So there's that. Jason sends $20, goes, have you discussed the connection between Hank and Jen McCabe involving the last name Weeks? Jen's maiden name is Weeks, right? Is Hank's middle name Weeks? I saw that somewhere online. Sorry so long. Whip it out. Okay. So everything you just said is retarded. Thank you for the $20. I'm being nice here. I'm educating you. Whatever the fuck you read online about Weeks, whatever, it's complete bullshit. You should forget you heard it and ignore moving forward anyone suggesting the conspiracy theory that you just paid $20 to send me. That's what I would recommend. Just eliminate that person from your watch list. Just block them. So there's that. No, Jennifer Weeks McCabe is not related to Kevin Weeks at all, the hitman for Whitey Bulger, and that is not a connection from Whitey Bulger to Hank Brennan. So just want to clear that up because the internet done gone wild, and you should consider your sauces. That's all I'm saying. Okay. Susan sends $10 and goes, Ty Turtle Boy, thanks for being strong, and please don't ever give up. Also, thanks for your sense of humor and making me laugh. Hang in there and stay cool. Well, I'm happy to make you laugh, Susan, and appreciate the support. I really do. And the last one here is from Nicola, sends $10, goes, I'm going to change my YouTube name to Cunty Bev. I like how you call her that. What do you think? Go for it, Nicola. Knock yourself out. Have a great time. Make your YouTube name whatever the fuck you want to make it. Let me just double check my Cash Apps here. Got a few of these to bang through. Karen sends $10, goes, curious how many local versus out of states are in chat. Want to do a poll? We can do a poll. Let's do a poll. Sometimes I like to poll the audience about who you are. All right. Do you live in Massachusetts? Yes or no? I mean, back in the day, did that poll not? Yeah. Back in the day, this would be like 80% Massachusetts. But I don't think it's going to be that way anymore. I would guess, I'm not even looking at it yet. I would guess this is going to be like 40% Massachusetts. Let's go check it out. Let's see what the poll results say. Where'd it go? Oh, wow. 67 to 33. So this is a overwhelmingly non-masshole audience. So that's cool. The audience is growing substantially. That's what she said. That's what she said. So thank you very much for that one. Good turtle. Good chat there. Next up, we got, turn that up. Candace sends $10 and goes, for a tariff because my turtle chat was whack. All love. Well, thank you very much. No, it's okay. A tariff. Charles sends $10 and goes, why wouldn't you stare at them? They murked a cop. I know that is kind of like fascinating. Like, so there's what murderers look like in the flesh. Interesting. Stacy sends $25 and goes, so the Canton police uses body cams for this, but not. It's a good point. I think they're new, the body cams. Liznay sends $3 and goes, Hope Defense asks all of them. Okay, thank you. Chrissy sends $10 and goes, the family peggying justice system is alarming. Correct. Barry sends $24.90 for John O'Keefe. And he says, stay strong, Aidan. Free Karen Reed. Right back at you, Barry. Thanks for being great, my dude. Heather sends $5 and goes, love your spunk. And honestly, love from California. Just don't Google what spunk is, Heather. That's all I'm saying. I appreciate that from Southern California. Okay, cool. All right. Anybody else got anything to say before we call it a night? It's been another successful evening here at Turtle Boy Industries. Got a great crowd filled with great, fine people. Where'd the turtle chat thing go? Oh, there it is over here. Let me just refresh it. Okay, cool. We're good. No more turtle chats. All right. Anyway, I'm going to call it an evening, but I love you guys. And trial starts this week, baby. It's time to fuck. Show will be back. Honestly, if the trial is on Wednesday, I might do the show Wednesday night because I think that would be whenever the trial starts, that will be the next show. Let's put it that way. And honestly, I might during the trial, I might start doing a show every night because fuck it. People need the content. But all right, guys, I'm gonna call it an evening. Nice talking to all you people, and we'll see you guys all for the next live show, whenever the fuck that is. Peace to your bum crease and brush your teeth. Bye.
It calls for data including calendars, alerts, reminders, notes, text messages, pictures, or videos from April 1st, 2023 through and including October 5th, 2023. 7 months